What's up, people? We're clicking too many buttons. It's my sexy top. I decided to be like show some skin, but you know what? Even now, the microphone's kind of hiding it, but you can still see a little bit of that bruise through this sheer top. That thing, I'll probably be bruised up for a month. This is ridiculous. I couldn't do very well in one of them domestic violence situations because I would be jacked up for probably a year behind one punch. Judging by how this dude, all he did was grab my arm. It's like unbelievable. You sleepy? Somebody's fighting to stay up. Who is that? Hold on a second. Let me switch over to the comments. Oh, Amanda. Oh, I'm sorry, but you know what? Yeah, this dating site sometimes messes me up too. You can always, if you nod out, girl, we won't be mad. You did make an appearance, so you can go on and get your beauty rest. We won't be mad at you. Yes, I'm in my hot mama outfit. One of my friends gave me this for my birthday, and I wore it. I worn it a couple of times on a couple of dates when I wanted to, entice people because you can pull this part down and it shows like more cleavage. So if I want to really mess with them, then that's what I do. But for for the show, I put it up higher. But yeah, it's very cute, and I have some black leather pants that I usually wear with it. So definitely be having that hot mama look. But welcome I'm all distracted. Welcome everybody. This is What the Fuck Tuesday. It's a relationship advice show. We do this every week and every Tuesday, and we come here and we go over letters that people have already sent in. So this is not one of the shows where I answer your questions live on the air. We'll be doing that again on Christmas Eve. So what is that, like a week away? Um, and but other than that, we'll be going over these questions, and I'm looking at this, and it says that there are 28 questions today. I think I know why, because we had a couple of questions from the other night when we are doing the advice calling questions that I missed, and the people had already paid their fee, so their letters are in here too. So I think that's why there's a few more than normal. But let's get started since there are so many. Um, you guys are welcome to make comments about the letters here. If you live in the area where these people are from and you have some, information that augments my response, more specific resources or something like that, feel free to put your comments in here in the chat. And other than that, let's go. Okay, this first question is from Jewel. She sent in a question on Friday, and I missed it. It says, married for 7 years. He deletes his social media, year 1. Asked me to remove photos of us, year 4. Looks at women in public. Waits 5 years to delete numbers of ex. Keeps ringer off due to telemarketers, and she put that in quotes. Claims condoms in the trunk belong to a friend that he helped move. Advice? How do this is difficult because I usually deal with single people. Some people, lately I guess some married people have been writing, but that's really not my forte. And you know why? Because when you start talking about people's marriage, not just a baby daddy, boyfriend, shacking up situation, people have taken vows. They, if you're a religious sort, it's under God. You probably took, they had a big church wedding, this whole thing. So that tends to mean more to women than just, somebody that they're dating. And I don't feel bad ripping a man apart who is a mere boyfriend or baby daddy, because, that ain't shit. A husband is on a different level. So I'm treading lightly here. Madam, what about this? This is a question for you. What about what you wrote here indicates that your husband is faithful, true blue, upfront, honest, and dealing with you in a transparent way? To me, that's what I would need to be married to a man, and to give him even 90% of me, because he's never going to get all. But I'll give you 85, 90% on a good day. But these things that he does are so egregious. And I'm not saying that I don't want to say that he's cheating because I don't have any facts in that direction. But what I'm going to tell you is this: if it walks like a duck, it quacks, and it has feathers, that usually means it's a duck. This right here is a duck. And so there's no, when you put all these things together, plus a bunch of more you probably didn't fit because put in there because it didn't fit the character limit. um, you basically have to determine for yourself, do you feel good in this relationship? Does this feel like something that you want to continue in? Does this feel like you are emotionally safe? Does this feel like you're psychologically safe? Are you stressed all the time? Do you trust this man? These are all the kind of things that you have to ask yourself. And to me, if you don't have all of those things in your husband, then there is no reason to be married. That's what I have to say. Hey, a duck dusty. A ducksty. Shut up, Onyx. Onyx is stupid. She say a ducksty. Well, hey, I just, I don't know what else to tell you, girlfriend. This is, to me, he ain't shit. Okay, let me just be blunt. Your husband ain't about nothing. Would I stay with him? Hell to the no. But I'm not you. So you have to, make that decision yourself. Yeah, honey, quacking right, quacking to the left and quacking to the right. Quack up, quack down, quack all around. I could not. Okay, let's move on. That was her. And somewhere in here is another letter from another lady, but I don't know where Candace put it. So anyway, let's move on. Female, 28 to 34 age group. It says no location provided. Her partner is a male in the 35 to 41 age group. That's a new thing I added to the form so that I could get a little bit better handle on, are we dealing with a heterosexual or same-sex relationship, and what's the age difference between the two parties? That kept coming up for me and it kept leaving me in a quandary. So I changed my advice submission form to add it. Yes, thank you, Angelica, Miss Pickles. Okay, so the letter says, hey, Auntie Deb, Candace, and the squad. First, I'd like to say thank you for choosing my letter, and thank you so much for the wealth of knowledge I have been able to acquire from your videos. I have been learning a lot about myself since being introduced to your channel a year ago. Unfortunately, I was introduced to you about 2 years too late and was in the middle of a very toxic relationship with someone who I now know is extremely narcissistic, cruel, and low value. Ooh, damn. So I absolutely fucked up, broke a cardinal rule, and shat where I eat. Yes, caught up with a coworker. The worst part isn't the fact that he was sleeping with another coworker, whom I foolishly interrogated. No, you didn't. No, you did not do that on your job. Okay, here we go. But the worst part is I stayed. It was my first, quote, committed relationship post-university. I was naive, stubborn, and did not want to admit that someone I trusted had totally disrespected me unremorsefully and was caught up with proving to myself that I was the better woman. If it weren't for you, I'd still be running in circles and I would not have terminated a pregnancy for this animal. I am eternally grateful to you for this in particular. I almost ruined my life being tied to a demon through an innocent and unnecessary baby. Ooh, thank you, Jesus. And I'm not religious. I was and still am concerned for my career, as after his mask fell and I realized the abyss of darkness that is his soul, I expect that he will be making my life difficult at work. I am an engineer and design and manage projects. He manages my work sites. It doesn't help that I am the only woman on the job. Auntie Deb, I'm here to tell you just how right you are about them island boys, entitled, abusive idiots. It has been a traumatic and painful experience. I have been embarrassed, emotionally abused, triangulated, and harassed. Ooh, excuse me, harassed by his flying monkeys in and out of work, and harassed by his crazy ratchet ex. Now I am done and I truly want better for myself. He's on vacation from work and I ended it with him over the phone. I go on a 6-week vacation that starts before he gets back and will not be in contact with him until the end of January. My question is, how do I damage control in this situation back at work? I don't have the option of leaving my job. I have locked down a decent wage, health insurance, and a pension, and I cannot and will not let it go. I live on a very small island and my opportunities to replace this position are pretty much non-existent. So alas, I must fight the great fight and stick it out. I need your scoldings, guidance, and love in the worst way. Please help me, Auntie Jen. Tell the hell you do. Why are you trying to make yourself be stuck there like they don't have airplanes to go from the islands to someplace else? Girl, you better get your resume online internationally. All you need is a passport to get the fuck up out of there. You put your resume out. You know, they do interviews by Zoom and all this kind of stuff. And if they want you to come to where they are, they will fly you there. Do not limit yourself to this funky job with this fool and this little whatever you think you got a decent wage and all that kind of shit. It cannot be that decent. You put your resume out and you put it online on sites like Indeed.com and these kind of places like that where people go and look, and even on what's this um shit, I can't think of the name of it right now. Um Shoot. But there's this site like where people network and stuff. It's really big. Maybe somebody can think of, my mind is blank right now. But you know, you post your information there and people, recruiters will contact you. So you stop this. You got like you trying to convince yourself that you need to stay there and you trying to get me to buy into that bullshit, and that's not gonna work. You get your resume out, you polish it up and you get it out there, include all the projects that you've led and all this kind of stuff so they can see, yeah, well, maybe I have been on LinkedIn. Thank you, Angelica. See, y'all, you, Erica, thank you. Y'all got, yes, it is Maya. Thank you. You guys all think, that's what I was thinking about. My mind went blank. LinkedIn is a wonderful resource for professionals who are looking to make a career change. All the recruiters go there. You put all your stuff up online. Don't put your personal contact, just an email, not a phone number, you know, stuff like that. But you put your email there. If you have to pay for the service, you're an engineer, you make enough money, you pay for the top level service, and then you can contact people and they will contact you. Get your ass up off that damn little Mickey Mouse island with that clown and all his little minions, and you take yourself somewhere where you can meet some people that have some sense and make some real money. Zip, okay, they're putting some ideas for sites in here, so you follow that. That's how your employer found me. Yeah, I get to get a lot of like freelance jobs from there, so I know for a fact that it works. She didn't say what island. She left that part blank. Business Facebook. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Mark or whatever his name. I just some about Facebook just rubs me the wrong way. But whatever. But you know, you can try it. I mean, whatever. At this point, put your resume everywhere. It's not gonna hurt you, especially if it's free. And then you just remember where you put them and what the passwords are and stuff. So when you get your new job, you can take all that shit down. If you know all your things are your retirement and all that kind of stuff. Do you do realize you can roll those things over, right? Right. You know, you can transfer them to the new retirement company. You know that the company has. You just move it over. It comes with you. You just because you're there and you have a little change in there doesn't mean that you have to stay there with it. It comes with you wherever you go. Okay, worldwide. I mean, girl, if you don't get your ass up off of that damn island, worrying about this fool, and don't you be dating people at work ever again. Don't you do that. Question number 2, female, 28 to 34, from Tacoma, Washington. I'm having a problem with various guys acting all creepy and pushy towards me, especially at work. How do you suggest I deal with this? Hi, Deb, and please thank Candace for choosing my letter. In the past, when I was younger and stupid, I used to think I was special for being hit on a lot, but it was usually men who are most likely desperate. This keeps happening now as well, and I don't feel proud of it anymore. I'm not too young, I'm 31, but I take care of myself, so I think I probably look a few years younger. I work at this gas station slash convenience store, and I get many men giving me their numbers, pushing me to call them, asking me personal questions and such. I feel it's disrespectful, and sadly, I don't know how to deal with it. Like, I give a response how my employer doesn't allow me to give my personal information, but some other times I feel social enough to exchange information to the point where these men become pushy. Why would you do that? Okay, same with social media. I swim a lot and I have a bunch of swimsuit pictures on my page. I meet people and they add me on Instagram, for example, and after seeing my pictures, they get dirty with me. I don't know if also wearing a bunch of makeup contributes to that. I'm not into hookups and such. I used to feel special, but it seems those guys will act that way to anyone who is youthful and average. Is this something common that most women have to deal with as well? I find it strange, especially at work where I work in an oversized shirt and pants uniform, receiving this kind of behavior. I don't know what to do. Yes, you fucking do. First of all, take all of swimsuit pictures offline. All of them. Okay? You don't need to have swimsuit pictures online when you see the result is this kind of stuff. I mean, it's like if you're going to have them, then close your page. Don't make your page public. Only make it so that certain people like family and friends that you already know offline and have a long history with can see them. But I still don't see why you would need to post a bunch of swimsuit pictures online. I mean, so what, you're a swimmer? Why don't you show a picture of the water where you were swimming or something? You know, a team shot where you guys got your sweatsuits on or something. You know, people are perverted. You already know this, and yet you keep putting the bait out there, and then be upset when you catch a funky fish. You know, and I hate to have to say this because it's the kind of thing like, women should feel comfortable and be able to do what they want to wear it. But the reality is we can't do that because men are stupid and freaky and nasty. And unless you want to be bothered with them, see, because to me, that's like, you put, like I tell dudes, you lead, whatever you lead with, that's the kind of fish you're going to catch. So dudes who lead with what they own and how much money they got and all this blingage and fancy cars and all that stuff, you're leading with your wallet. And so don't be upset when you catch a gold digger fish. The same thing with you, you half naked, because the swimsuit, there's nothing under it, right? So everybody knows that. So you're essentially half naked online. You feel like you got a swimsuit on, but I'm telling you, take that shit down. Take it down. Okay, now, as far as what goes on at your job, you don't give anybody anything. What you do is have to start developing bass in your voice. When men try to come at you, say, sir, this is my place of employment. I don't appreciate you trying to flirt with me while I'm working. Okay, this is my job. Do people come at you like that on your job? Then don't do it to me. And you talk to them in that tone of voice. Like, no nonsense. Do you see a smile on my face? Do I look fucking friendly? Do I look like I want to give you the time of day? Take your freak ass on somewhere. You know what I mean? So you have to start doing that. You don't smile at them. You don't look pleasant at them. You give them the mean mug. You don't ever give any of them your phone number. And what you need to do is change your name tag at work so you have a fake name on there. It doesn't, you just have a name. It doesn't need to be your real one. So you get one of them label maker thingies and whatever name, and tell your boss that's what you're going to do because of the, and your coworkers, because of the weirdness that's been going on, and you want to, use a different name. And you can do that. Okay. What, I mean, but they ain't paying you, right? So what do they need to know your real name for? Thanks, Shay. I'm trying to get like Shay. I'll be looking at Shay's pictures. Shay be popping that hip out. Yeah, I'm like little girl. If you, I mean, you 31, so yeah, I can call you little girl. You the same age as my daughter. It's from two different companies. Hmm. I don't know. One is some stuff I bought on Amazon. I don't remember. It's some off-brand something that was cheap, and then the other one is from ColourPop. ColourPop's not too. My little cousin, my little teenage, she was like 17. She got me turned into ColourPop, so I bought some and I bought her some too because it was really, reasonably priced. I can't be like y'all with all these, you know, Max and saying $30 for lipstick and all that kind of stuff. Can't do it. Can't do it. That's y'all. So yes, young lady, that's what you're gonna do. Okay. You doing too much and you're giving out too much information and being too friendly and giving people just too much information. These dudes are weird. Okay, there are a lot more stalkers. Stop this. Really, you probably need to get a different kind of job when you work in an office and not so approachable by so many different people. You should work on that. Question number 3. This is a male in the 35 to 41 age group from Portland. Okay, I'm 37 and I have been dating this 40-year-old lady for 6 weeks or so. We probably have had about 8 dates. All have been pretty enjoyable and really feel like we enjoy each other's company. In person, it feels effortless and comfortable, just like I feel it should be when there's potential. We have been sleeping together since date 3. How did I know? Likely because I have been catching feelings. Uh-oh, he wrote. For her, I have been wondering more about her interest level. Oh, God. That's one of those phrases from those pickup order people. Yeah, they probably should, Cindy. Oh, interest level. If I text, she will respond, even if it's sometimes many hours apart. We're adults. That isn't a big deal. Typically, we've been getting together on Friday since that's what our schedules allow. Exception being the holiday weekend where she went to her mom's out of state. We live about 45 minutes apart, which isn't a big deal, but we made it work and have shared the driving time. If we don't text first, sometimes I won't hear from her. If I don't text first, rather, I sometimes won't hear from her for 2 or 3 days, which again is okay. It has, however, made me wonder if she'd like to be exclusive or is still at a place where she's interested in me more than just dating every weekend. I could ask in person and wouldn't want to do it through text or anything like that. So that leaves me with a long week of wondering. Nearly every time I catch feelings first or have the DTR. What is that? I should know what that means. Uh, Something about what the direction of the relationship is going in, kind of thing. Talk before the woman brings it up. It hasn't gone great, so I'm hesitant. I'm at a place now, though, that I like to at least be exclusive. After our date at my place last Friday, I noticed the next day that she had deleted her profile on the 2 dating apps that we matched on. I hope that means she's on the same mind frame of no longer looking elsewhere, but I know that isn't necessarily what it means. I think I'm just in my head about it, as what happens during that period of DTR chicken, define the relationship. I remember now. All of a sudden it came to me. DTR chicken, as I call it. The easiest thing is to wait a couple of days and try to make plans for this Friday and just keep having fun and having dates. But I'm generally interested in more here. Any advice? By the time you make it to 10 dates, you are at the point. If you like somebody enough to date them 10 times, that's a good sign. I never make it that far. If I make it to 2, it's a fucking miracle. Because usually after the first date, somewhere in there, they, you on the phone and they do or say some shit I don't like, and so we never go out to date 2. So, guy, I'm gonna just tell you this: find your nuts, grab them like how Michael Jackson used to do when he would do his little thing. He's doing all like that. Okay, you need to find your nuts, and then you need to go, and when you go to meet with this woman on Friday, and say, look, we've been kicking it for whatever lingo you use for all this time, these number of weeks, these months, whatever it is, and I am really, really feeling you. I would like to I don't want to see anyone else. How do you feel about making the situation exclusive, just the 2 of us, and see where we can take this? Say it seriously. Look her in her eyes. Hold her hands. Put your Mac on. Okay? And then see what she says. The worst she could say is, well, I'm really feeling you too, but I'm not ready yet. Which in case, you just wait another month or so. Because, 6 weeks isn't really that long. Or she'll be like, yes, me too. Since y'all are in your 30s, it's not like you spring chickens. So, either way, it's going to work. Honey, I'm trying to tell you, I always look at Michael Jackson. I'm like, little peanut knuckles you got there. But, oh, you guys vote on my survey too. I got a survey on there on the page about heterosexual women and men wearing makeup and how you feel about that. How do you feel about a man wearing makeup? You see the survey. It's on Facebook. So, I mean, not Facebook, on YouTube. So anybody who might be listening, just listening, you have to actually log on to vote on it. All right. So anyway, sir, that's what I recommend. And it should go really well. If she's taking her profiles down, that's a sign. Question number 4, female, 18 to 21, from Oxnard, California. So, Deb, I have real small boobs. Now, I never had a problem with that until girls around me deliberately started making it a group discussion. This one time, an ex-classmate of mine had a bad breakup with her ex-boyfriend in high school. I ran into her in the girls' washroom while she was talking to her friends. As soon as I entered, she said something like, even she, pointing at me, has a boyfriend, and I don't, she has small boobs and all. It must be sad. Though I knew exactly what she meant, my brain just froze for a sec trying to process everything. I ended up saying nothing, nothing. And she put that in caps and bold and underlined. And she spoke like this multiple times before as well. My point is, I'm quick to shut down men when it comes to filthy comments. But how do I respond to females, especially in the social scenario? The exact same way. Why do they get special privileges? Because they have tatas. A bitch is a bitch and a mitch is a mitch. It's the same shit to me. I don't give a fuck. Because you're going to come at me all kind of crazy. I mean, I would rather have honor and respect for my sisters. But if they're going to come at me sideways, I'm going to rip their fucking head off and wish them that they had never said anything to me. Because it's like, this whole thing here, usually when people have small tatas, they usually have bigger hips. Bigger. I don't know. I've just seen that kind of figure type more than just small boobs and then no hips. Although some women have that too. You didn't really say which one is yours, but let's just assume you got a bigger booty. Well, then you supposed to, jump out there and start twerking. Say, yeah, but look at all this ass I got. You would have to buy it. It's easy to get some titties. That's nothing. Or what you get? How you gonna get some ass like this? Ooh, ooh. And just make her feel bad. It's like that pancake shit you got back there. Can't even fill out your jeans. Whatever. I mean, I don't know what you look. Whatever. Anyway, whatever it is, whatever's the thing that woman has, especially if you know her and you know that she's insecure about something about her body, that's what you zero in on. If she's insecure about something, it's like, well, something like you must need to take your meds because something's not working. You in the bathroom bitching about complete strangers' titties. What, you turn gay now? What you doing looking at my chest so much, poor girl? You shouldn't be saying stuff like that in public. Not that there's anything wrong with being gay, but I didn't know that you were. Something like that. I don't know, but the kind of thing is you got to just look at the person, and then especially for girls like this, because the fact that she would say approach you like this shows she's very insecure. So you say you knew her from high school, so obviously you have history with her, so you know more about what would rip her heart out and make her feel bad about herself. You can't keep a boyfriend. You done been through 10 this year. None of them want you. They just hit it and quit it. I mean, whatever dirt you have on her, that's when you unleash it and you do it right in public, right, just like she did you, and you clown. You don't hold back. You go for the jugular. So, I don't like girls like that. She's gonna be trying to front in front of all her friends. That's when you just rip her. So I don't know, you have to think about that. But that's typically the way that I do it. Whatever thing that I know that they're sensitive about, I zero in on it like I have a microscope, and then I just blast them. Let's move on to question number 5, female 28 to 34 from San Jose. Hi, Deb. I have been dating this guy. He is also in the 28 to 34 age group for 3 months. Last night, I called him just to say hi and catch up. I'm not the type to be on the phone for hours. He didn't pick up my call. Instead, he texted me back and said, I'm with some friends at the moment. Call later? Question mark. I don't know if I'm just being petty or extra, but I don't ever want him to call again. Oh, you doing the most. He can call me if he wants and I will answer if I can. But now I don't really want to be the first to reach out to him. Am I just being petty and immature and extra? Well, yes, you are, especially this old. But I mean, you know what you expect just because you call some random time that he's just supposed to be sitting there twiddling his thumbs waiting for the phone to ring? That's very unrealistic. Okay. And he did say he would call you back, but don't you think it would be rude for him to talk to you while he's out with his friends? They just sitting there waiting for him while he's talking about you to you about nothing? Because you didn't have nothing important to talk to him about, right? You just called to say hi. So that means you can say hi anytime. He wasn't like he was giving him some important life-saving information or some message that was gonna like of the utmost urgency or anything. You're just bullshitting on the phone. So whether you bullshit then or bullshit later, it's still bullshit. So stop this. Now, personally, I did that one time. Same thing. I called. We were just dating then, and he was trying to talk to me. He was trying to talk to me, but he had some frat over to his house. The TV was on. They was watching some football or basketball or some sport thing was on. And here's a room full of niggas. And he walked to the side. He was trying to talk to me because I called him just one time, and he was so distracted. He kept having like background conversations. People was asking him questions. Man, where's the hot sauce? This kind of stuff. And because it was at his house. And so I'm like, okay, we're never doing this again. So I said, well, I see you got gifts. I wasn't mad or anything. I wasn't being like you with an attitude. I just said, I can see you're busy, you have company and stuff. So why, you deal with them and stuff. We'll talk later tomorrow or something. And he's like, yeah, okay, babe. Yeah, this and that. And so then yeah, nigga, yo, and as he's hanging up, he had already forgot I was on the phone. And that was the last time I called that man. That was it. I'm like, because he was always busy. He was always doing something. And so I just felt like, if he reached out to me, that he had moved that's all that aside, and he was ready to give me his 100% undivided attention. It was only for 2 or 3 minutes. He was all mine. To me, that was more important. And I don't do that long conversation stuff either. By the time I'm on the phone for 10 minutes, I'm antsy. I'm ready to get off. But he, that worked for us. And that's how I decided to do things. And that's what I say, you know. But you guys, you 28 to 34, that's a little old to be acting like that. Question number 6. This is a male in the 28 to 34 age group from Miami. Last week, me and my wife of 9 months went out to dinner at a local restaurant. And before we left, she was wearing a see-through dress with no bra on. What? Also like this with no bra? This did very much piss me off, but instead of saying that, I just told her what she was wearing made me uncomfortable. She told me that she likes to feel sexy when she's out around men, and she likes to feel wanted. And I told her that all that should matter is that I want her. She told me that I bored her. Oh, instead of making us late to our reservation, I just sighed and finished getting dressed. Dude, you have the patience of a saint. While we were there, the waiter was flirting with her the whole time, and she didn't do anything about it. I was going to say something, but I wanted to see if she would act like a married woman. When we got home, she was showering and she left her phone on. I looked due to her recently concerning behavior and saw that she has flirtatious conversations. Most of them are boys in their 20s. So you guys are in your. Okay, she's 30 and he's 31. Okay. Ooh, this is kind of scary. I'm scared to read the rest because she is just doing the absolute most. Okay, as soon as she finished her shower, I demanded to know what was going on. She told me that she likes being sexualized and that it's my fault for not making her feel attractive. It's been a week and she refuses to put on her ring when she goes out now. We haven't had eggplant since that incident. I love her more than anything, but at this point, I think I should leave her. I don't know what's happening. If this is some midlife crisis, how's she having a midlife crisis at 30? That she's going through, or she's just unloyal. But dad, for real, this behavior came out of nowhere. I just need some advice. Yes, it's time to get a divorce. You've been married for 9 months. You might be able to get an annulment. I don't know what the laws are in Florida, but I'd look into it if I were you. And it's time to leave this cycle. Women like this and I don't want to sound fatalistic, but women like this will get you killed because some dude will push up on her in a very disrespectful way and even touch her or something, grab her or something, and you will feel like, well, it's my wife. I need to intervene. I need to protect her. That's my wife. I love her. And you're gonna put yourself in a position where you could get shot and killed, stabbed and killed, beat the fuck up and jumped by a number of guys, all because she want to walk around looking like a hoe in public. And I'm sorry, but when I grew up, in the area I lived in the Fillmore district of San Francisco, some blocks away, there were prostitutes, and that's how they dressed, in absolute sheer clothes with nothing underneath. Shortest shorts you've ever seen in your life, showing like pube hairs and all kind of stuff. It just walking up and down the street. Sometimes it would be cold, and they would still be looking like that. So, seeing that as a child and then seeing someone who's dressing like that, to me, the association is there. That's why I can say you're dressing like a hoe because I saw hoes dressed like that growing up. I'm not coming up with this out the blue. This is something I actually saw over and over and over and over and over and over and over for years. So, Yeah, I'm thinking, dude, you need to get out of this like pronto, okay? Because the next thing she gonna be trying to do like that, it's holiday season, but she gonna be trying to dress like that around your parents and your family, your brothers and stuff, your brother-in-laws, your sister-in-laws are gonna lose their damn minds. Your daddy's gonna think, what the fuck is going on here? This is not a good scene. You need to dump this chick. I don't know what her problem is, but obviously she does not want to be married. She does not want to have that kind of relationship to tell you right to your face that you bore her. Get rid of her. Question number 7, female, 22 to 27 from Oakland. Hello, Deb. Something happened that I don't quite know how to interpret. I don't know whether I'm being overly sensitive and looking too deep into things or is something really wrong. But recently, since I've finally saved up enough for a down payment on a car, I've been making steps toward getting my first car. My mom told me that the first step is going to driver's school, so we found a company that gives driving lessons. I scheduled a class, got ready, left the house, and got in the student car, only to find out that I need my driver's permit first. I was very embarrassed, and to make matters worse, when I got out of the car, I looked back, and my mother, aunt, and cousin were looking at me through the window as if they were waiting, like they knew this was going to happen. I was ashamed walking back into the house. When I got back in, my mom said, "What happened?" I told her I needed a permit first, and she says, "Well, I could have told you that," in a very snarky tone. I asked, "Well, why didn't you tell me then?" And she didn't answer. I feel like my mom intentionally wanted me to have this embarrassing experience because she knew, well, okay, I don't know what you were trying to say. I guess she said she knew I was taking the steps out of order. Why wouldn't she tell me or try to correct me? Why wait until I pay money to make an appointment for a driver class, get ready for the class, only to have to come back? Why watch me go through all that? I trusted her to help me and took her advice, and it's not helping. It sent me into a dark mood ever since, and it just makes me feel very down. Am I overreacting, or should I be side eyeing this? It all seems so mean spirited. No, you know what this is? You 22 to 27 years old, and you didn't handle your shit. This is your fault. This is all your fault. Your mother did teach you a very valuable lesson, and let me explain it to you since she didn't tell you what the lesson is. I'm going to break it down for you. When you spend money on anything, it is your responsibility because it's your money. It is your responsibility to find out all the facts that you need to know. Every single bit of information to be successful is on you to find out. When you were on the phone making an appointment, you were supposed to ask them, what is it that I need to be do first to be able to take this class? Are there any prerequisites? Is there anything I need to bring with me? Is there anything I need to do first? You were supposed to ask that. And then they would have said, yes, go down to the DMV and make sure that you get your driver's permit. And so then when we come to pick you up, you'll be ready to go. But did you ask that? No, you just making a test. So of course, they're going to assume that you've already done it. They're not going to ask you that. That's your responsibility to ask what you need to do to be ready for what you're getting ready to spend your money on as an adult. That's why they was all looking at you because they think she crazy. Something wrong with her. You're just bopping around through life waiting for everybody to tell you stuff. Girl, grow up. Get your shit together. Okay? That's what your mother should have been telling you. This is ridiculous for you to be mad at her because you didn't do what you were supposed to do. Get your shit together. This was extremely silly behavior on your part. Just waiting for everybody to guide you and shit. Your ass is an adult. You're not a 16-year-old kid. Ask questions. Open your mouth. Fact find. You writing checks and spending money and shit. You don't even know what the fuck you're spending your money on. This is ridiculous. Don't you ever do anything like this again. Now I know you probably thought I was gonna be all on your team and stuff against your mama. I mean, she could have done it differently. She could have. But I think this was a better lesson for you because it's gonna sink in better. You want to be grown and independent and shit, then act like it. Handle your shit. Question number 8. This is a male in the 28 to 34 age group from Anaheim. A friend just told me that she just got a restraining order against her boyfriend and that he has yelled and hurt her since very early on in their relationship over the past 18-ish months, and he threatened that he would hurt or kill himself if she left him. She's a strong woman from the Bronx and hasn't lived in this area long, so she moved all the way from the Bronx to Anaheim. Wow. And I've always respected the way she stands up for herself. But she said she always hid this from me and others, so I'm totally floored to hear this news. I offered her to come stay with me if she feels unsafe at home or anything else. A man, is there anything else I, as a man, can do to help? What else can I do to support her? I helped her move out of her apartment in Long Beach a couple of months ago. He was unable to help for, quote, whatever reason, end quote. And she was deeply grateful then and felt bad that I have helped her so much over the years. And she hasn't been able to return the favor. So I worry she might not want to ask for anything very much. But I both want to help her and really don't want her to be another statistic. I hear you on that. Any advice? Hmm. Does dude know where she lives and works? That would be my biggest concern for her safety. The fact that she had to get a restraining order on him. So say like even if she did like stay with you, if she's working at the same place, he could still get her there. You see what I'm saying? So you guys give this some serious thought. Because if she's gonna be like go into hiding or something like that, are you prepared to support her for a month or two while she hides out and then gets like looks for another job or something? Because you in Southern California, I mean, she could work anywhere, she could live anywhere, and he, would not really be able to find her that easily. She should also change her cell phone number. For an address, she should tell her to get a P.O. box or something like that, one of the mailbox, etc., that have a street address, but it's not really, nobody lives there. It's like a bunch of mailboxes, something like that. She needs to start putting barriers between him finding her and, where she lives. Change, get all her mail someplace else. So let's see, we got 93 votes on our survey. Can we get to 100? Can we get to 100? Her mom might be petty, but this is, the whole point is, as an adult, it is nobody's responsibility to hold your goddamn hand and guide you through life. You're grown. Do what you need to do to handle your business. She wasn't spending her mother's money, she's spending hers. She paid for it. So everything connected with that class was her responsibility and no one else's. So stop looking at the mother as being responsible. She's not. She told her she needed to take a driver's lesson. She helped her find a class. That's all she's supposed to do. The girl is after that, she the one writing the fucking check. It's her job. Okay? It's her job to figure out what she's spending her money on and make sure she's going to get the right value for her money and everything else. It's her money. I was making all my decisions and picking all my shit and everything when I was a teenager, 15, 16 years old. She's in her 20s. There's no excuse for this. I know you all kind of trying to make mom, blame shift to the mom and all this kind of stuff, but it's like, Some moms might provide counsel, but it's not their job to when you're in your 20s about something so silly as getting a driver's permit. That's supposed to be your job. Shit. When the fuck are you going to grow up and handle your own business? You guys run into mommy about every goddamn thing? That's nothing. Okay, that's nothing that you should be bothering your parents about. You got a mouth? People be all on the internet and looking up all kind of stupid shit. You could look up what do I need to take driving lessons, and it would be right there on Google. Your mother doesn't need to hold your fucking hand and tell you every goddamn thing about what you spending your money on. That's what I keep getting back to. She's spending her money. It's her responsibility to make sure that she's spending her money on what she needs to be. Everything is right before she write that check. This is ridiculous. So they made a spectacle out of it. It's still her responsibility. All they did was look out the window. So for all they know, she got a driver's permit. They didn't know nothing about it. How are they supposed to know that? Are they psychic now? They looking out the window to see her drive off on her first driving lesson. I think everybody in his family would want to do that. So them looking out the window at her by that alone is not unusual. Shit. This is like, this is like this codependent shit. Exactly, babiness. She's behind because she's been depending on her mother to, teach her stuff all along and hold her hand. And now in her 20s, her mother's tired of it, and she wants her to step up and take a responsibility for her own life. That's what's happening right now. And she's not, understanding the lesson here. Exactly, Diana. That's what I'm saying. So anyway, yeah, dude. That's what I would suggest for you. Okay, let's move on. Question 9. Female 22 to 27, no location provided. One of my good friends, we are both 23, met a girl at his university and decided to strike up a conversation. The topic of where they live came up because they live on the same street. Hmm. He made a joke like, I'm going to kidnap you. You're both 23. Okay. Oh, he's silly. And told me that she laughed and said something along the lines of, we'll do it when we have our finals. I, for one, wouldn't appreciate a joke like this from a total stranger, but maybe I'm wrong. I told him that comment was inappropriate for his first meeting. What do you and the squad think? Okay. So she's friends with this guy. They're both 23. And he meets a girl, strikes up a conversation. And in the first conversation with the girl, he makes a joke about kidnapping her. And she told him that, he said the girl laughed. See, what men don't understand is there's like a lot of girls do that uncomfortable laugh because they don't know what to say. And they just laugh because there's such a stressful thing for them. They don't know what to say. So rather than just sit there and awkwardly be silent, they do this nervous giggle. And the guys, unfortunately, are stupid and they don't understand the difference between a nervous laughter and a hearty, har, that's so funny laugh. So yeah, he's way off. But what your young lady who wrote the letter, the letter writer, what you need to tell your friend is, there's millions of women being abducted all around the world. A lot of times their families never see them again. The girls are found in a ditch or a shallow grave, all this kind of stuff, sealed up in walls and stuff like that. So you thinking that something like that was a fucking joke, you moron. Don't you ever say anything like that to a girl again. You sound like an idiot. I'm sitting there giving you the side eye that you even would that such a thought would even come to your mind. This fucking weirdo. That's what I would have told him. He was my friend. And you say you're good friends. I don't know. You need to have a serious conversation with him. Don't mince words. Be very blunt. If you can't do it, then play this part of the video for him so that he can understand. That's a stupid ass, dumbass thing to say to a girl. She's going to avoid his ass like the plague now because she's going to be scared of him. He's such a fucking dork. My God. Isn't it? What an idiot. Question number 10. Female, 22 to 27 from Amarillo, Texas. My dad, who I haven't spoken to in years because he left us, because someone attempted to kill him, and I tried to call him at the hospital, and his ex-stepdaughter, okay, I'm already lost. Okay, you haven't talked to your dad in years because somebody attempted to kill him. Then you try to call him at the hospital because somebody tried to kill him. And his ex-stepdaughter picked up. Okay, so that means it was a stepdaughter, but then he's divorced from that woman. Okay. He was always in her life, but never in mine. She informed me that he was sleeping, but now I feel triggered because it reminds me of him choosing her over me as a child. I feel foolish for calling, and now I'm triggered. My older brother has been there at the hospital with him and has been begging me to call my father in the hospital because he got devastating news, and I did. She picked up. Now I'm in this emotional spiral, and I feel like an outsider. I'm sure she'll tell him I called, but I don't know how to muster up enough courage to call again, especially being triggered like this. I don't even know if he wants to talk to me. What do I do? You don't call again. I don't even understand why you called him in the first place. You haven't spoken to him in years because he left you. Somebody told me call him because he got shot. I would say, well, did he die? And they would have said no and said too bad. And I would have hung up and that would have been the end of that. I'm not chasing after no motherfucker begging him to love me when he turned his back on me. You in the hospital now because somebody tried to kill you. That's because you're a motherfucking asshole. Too bad they didn't succeed. Punk ass, bitch ass niggas like you need to be dead. That's what I would have said to him. I don't understand why you triggered. Why do you give a shit? See, I don't waste emotions on people who don't have any to give to me back. There's no reason just because he was your sperm donor that you should be having all this affection for him when he had none for you. I don't understand that. This societal programming that we get that we're supposed to, quote, love our parents, that's some bullshit. Just because they birthed you does not mean that you have to have any kind of affection for them, residual or otherwise. They're like sometimes like complete strangers. Sometimes the parents are your worst enemies. They do all kind of abusive things to their children just because they have them. So I don't, I'm just not feeling this at all. Your brother wants to be there. When your brother tells you to call your father, tell him, hell fucking no. I don't want to speak to that trash ass nigga, and don't bother me about that shit again. That's what you tell your brother. Say, you want to be over there begging for somebody to love you? Good. You keep doing that. I have too much pride and I love myself too much to beg that motherfucker to do anything except hopefully die tomorrow. I would like to see that. I know that's probably not the answer that you expected, but that's the one you get. Question number 11, female, 28 to 34 from London. I agreed to check on two friends' bunny while they were out of town. I was going on a date after I checked on the bunny. So why am I getting advice about a goddamn rabbit? Okay, I'm sure there's more to this, but the bunny is already the subject of the letter. Okay, so I was going on a date, so I brought my nicer leather bag. Left leather bag on coffee table, and Bunny ate through the strap of my $250 purse. I was shocked and bummed because I had been at her home for less than 30 minutes. I texted my friend and said, hey, your bunny ate my $250 purse. We need to discuss this. She agreed to pay for the bag, but isn't empathetic because she would never spend that much on a purse. I have been searching online for a replacement bag, but it's been hard since they don't make that bag anymore. I found some used ones and let her know that if she could contribute to half of the replacement, that would be nice. She wasn't even appreciative that I was trying to lower the cost and only asking to pay for half. She called and we discussed the matter. I felt manipulated into basically apologizing for how I treated her. She was far more concerned about her bunny and even kind of almost accused me of harming her bunny. She never apologized for her bunny's behavior and said it's just an animal. Oh my God. I had the key to her house, so I figured to gift it to her and she could give me the money. Her Venmo isn't working, so she said she'd give me a check, which is annoying because I'll have to go the efforts to deposit it. I think you will say that this situation shows how it's time for me to take whatever she offers and just discontinue the friendship. She and I definitely have different views on money. What is your suggestion? My suggestion is, okay, let me tell you how this would have went if it was me. You came into my house, I'm not even there, and you carelessly left your bag in a position where an untrained animal that likes to bite things could get to it, and you want to make that my fault. I would tell you, you could kiss the inside of my ass. I'm not paying shit. And if my bunny gets sick because you left your purse there and my bunny chewed and ate some leather, I'm going to make you pay the vet bills. That's what we would have heard from me. Because you feed you why you have to bring your purse in the house? Why couldn't you just leave your purse in your car in the trunk or something? You going in to feed the bunny, it don't take 30 minutes to feed a goddamn rabbit. You could feed it and change the settings and the stuff and everything in 10 minutes. So what were you doing in her house for 30 minutes? So the fact that the bunny got to your purse and had this leisurely time to chew on the strap of your purse, that's all your fault. All of it is your fault. Now, I'm going to say this too. It only chewed on the strap. What the fuck you need a whole new purse for? Take that thing to a leather worker and have them change them straps out, both of them, and put some, like, say the purse is brown leather, tan or something. You could put black straps on it and make it a two-tone bag and look nice. I'm not wrong. I'm saying that's her fault. And he's like, unless you balling and shit, what the fuck you need a $250 purse for? Do you own a home? Do you own your car? How many investments do you have? What is it that you got going on in your life? What kind of social circle you running in that you need a $250 purse? You better take your ass down to Marshall's and buy you one of them 1999 purses like you have some damn sense and put that other money in the bank. A purse is a purse. I don't understand people spending all this money on walk around with somebody's name on their bag. Them people ain't even paying you. I'm doing a promotion for shit. I got your name flashing around and I'm a walking billboard for you. You need to be paying me. Just think about the Kardashians. They don't do shit for free. I like that. They have some sense. Their mother understands what's going on. And then we get all these black women running around here with all these expensive ass purses, spending up all their money and flashing all this shit for free and paying for it. They don't get no benefit for it. No kind of advertising revenue, no kind of promotional fees paid to them, nothing. Y'all crazy. That's all I'm going to say. Spending all that goddamn money on some purse and some shoes. I don't get it. I like my money in the bank, getting interest instead of depreciating in a fucking handbag. And they'd be like, "What? I have like $10,000 worth of purses. And guess what? In the next fire, you ain't gonna have shit but some ashes. Ashes, ashes. We all fall down." Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? If I was stupid enough to leave my shit where a bunny or a gerbil or a hamster or what them little thing, guinea pig, a dog, anything could get to my shit and chew it, that would be my fault. Okay, because I shouldn't have done that. So you trying to make somebody else's responsibility because you were stupid? No, you ought to give me my fucking key back and get out of my life. That's what you would get from me. Question number 12. This is a female, 22 to 27 from Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm 25, my husband is 33. I have been so lost, so I'm writing, hoping you can help me. Deb, I am barely holding on. This past week has been horrible. 3 weeks ago, I started having a high fever that won't go away. And then, wow, came weird rashes under my feet and extreme tiredness to the point where it started seeping into my work performance. Ooh. I assumed it was probably hand, foot, and mouth disease or even COVID. So I went to the hospital and they still couldn't figure out what it was. And then eventually, after 2 long hospital visits and tests, I got the diagnosis of syphilis. She's married. He's 33. Oh boy. I was so fucking terrified and confused when I heard that I thought they might have switched my results with someone else's. I have been in a completely monogamous relationship with my husband for the past 3 married and other 2 dating years, and he was also my first relationship, and I had no sexual history prior to him. I was thinking of every other possibility, even the most absurd ones, because I couldn't believe that it was my husband. When I confronted him about my diagnosis, there was a clear sense of uneasiness, and then he broke down and came clean that he had been cheating on me with escorts. He maintains that he didn't know he had syphilis until I brought it up. The most disgusting part of it all was that we were planning to start a family. At that point, I had just been numb. I keep thinking it's me, that I did something wrong. On top of that, I now have to take penicillin until God knows when. I feel so hopeless. I've been talking to my doctor, and they told me it's not as debilitating as I make it out to be, and that because I was diagnosed early, I still stand a better chance at recovering and minimizing my symptoms. Still, I don't even know what to tell my family. Everyone is going to look down on me and disown me. I don't know what to do. I am hoping I find someone else who has been through a similar experience so I feel less alone. I also have to work on the divorce proceedings, and he has the audacity to tell me that we can work through it as though nothing has happened. I can't do this anymore. I hate everything. I feel like I've given my life and soul to this man, and clearly it wasn't enough. Where do I go from here? You go to the divorce court. And number two thing, keep your fucking mouth closed. Why would you go tell your family that? What's wrong with you? As a 25-year-old, you ought to have enough sense to know certain shit you just don't tell your people. This is one of them. They don't need to know about this. What the hell? You're taking medication, okay? It's gonna be fine. Antibiotics, that's all you need. And you caught it early, so you're good. Okay? They'll take care of it. There's nothing to worry about, like long term, anything like that, because you got it early and you're treating it with the proper medication. Now, as far as your marriage, this is over. You'll never trust him again, especially after something like this. And he's talking about he's been cheating with escorts. Well, he's calling them escorts, but you don't know that. And you don't know what kind of escorts was he dating. See men, women, both. I mean, what was he doing? So when you have a man who leads a double life, that's no kind of husband. You get rid of him. So you're right. The first thing you do is you don't work on divorce proceedings. You go and you hire an attorney. The attorney works on the divorce proceedings. You don't do anything except sign the contract. Okay. And then your husband's going to have to pay for your attorney and his if he has one. And then you guys split whatever if you bought a house, whatever, you're going to split that. But you haven't been married all that long, so you probably don't have that much equity if you did. But whatever it is, you guys split whatever you got, half down the middle. You go on your way, and he goes on his. If your family asks you what happened, you say that he just wasn't the man that I thought he was, and I don't want to be married to him anymore. That's all you have to say. You do not have to answer any of their personal questions, their nosiness, delving into your situation, and you don't have to tell them any details. Don't ever tell anybody this story. This is something that you will take to your grave. Okay? Certain things women just need to learn to shut the fuck up and stop talking. Stop fucking talking. Telling everybody everything. If you open your big mouth, then you will be sorry because they're going to never let you live it down. Yeah, remember that time that first husband you had and how he cheated on you and gave you syphilis? I couldn't get over that, girl. I just can't believe it. And they're going to be talking about it for 20 years. That's why you don't tell them nothing. You be vague, just like I just said. These women just be talking. She told us, but we don't know who she is. This was fine. But she started telling her family they gonna know who she is. She tell her friends they gonna know who she is. She tell her sorors they gonna know who she is. She tell her coworkers they gonna know who she is. So this situation like that, there's no benefit to tell them. You shut up. Don't say nothing. Question number 13, female, 22 to 27, from Milwaukee. In the past 4 to 5 years, I have been on and off in a relationship with a man, and when we first met, I was 19 and he was 27. Okay, wow. I was in this relationship with this man, but there was manipulation, lying, but I was too naive to see it. Recently, we broke up for good, and I moved to a completely different state. I started talking to another guy, and he started out really strong. It kind of freaked me out. He asked me to be his girlfriend the second week we met, but I said no. We went on a couple of dates. He cooked dinner from time to time. It was going well. He was willing to move mountains to do what I requested, but it was going too fast, so I asked him to slow down. As he was calling me babe already, he bought tickets to a couples event. Before we even went on an actual date, it was just too fast. I asked him to slow down as I was new to the city, so it felt good to be around somebody who already knew every place. He was at my house almost daily. As he was leaving, I just asked him to go out with the trash bag by the door as he was heading downstairs to his car. He started to complain and asked why he was complaining, and he raised his voice, stating that it's my apartment and I need to learn to take out my own trash. Not that I have ever taken out my trash before. I was taken aback and surprised by him raising his voice. And I said, fine, and I would take the trash out myself. I later messaged him stating how raising his voice made me feel. He switched the whole thing and said I was overreacting and that all he had said was no. But I could have sworn he raised his voice at me over a simple request. He made it seem like he never raised his voice at all. Oh, look at him gaslighting and stonewalling and all of that. He replied to my message with being a complete ass and stating that he wants nothing else to do with me. He removed me off of social media and even blocked my number. I'm just confused how someone can go from being obsessed with you to removing you from all social media and blocking your number. How do I stop attracting men like this? Oh, that's it. It's not a matter of you attracting men like this. It's a matter of, you meet the men. I mean, why do women always want to take responsibility for attracting certain things? Do you understand there's two people in the relationship? Don't you understand that it's not about you just there? He zeroed in on you. Okay? He saw you as a target. Whatever it is he's looking for, he thought you were it. It's not a matter of what you attracted. All this flipping around stuff, I hate that shit. I hate it with a passion. It's like every woman wants to take full responsibility for a man treating her like shit and somehow, oh, I attracted him. That's some bullshit, and stop letting people get in your head like that. These men go around looking for women that have a certain kind of vulnerability. The vulnerability that you presented is that you were new to the area. So you didn't really have any friends there yet, and none of your family was there. So you were just prime season for somebody like him. That's what happened here. It's not that you attracted him. It's that he saw you as prey because you were new to the area, fresh meat. That's what happened. Now, if you are in a situation where a guy starts doing the full court press on you like this again in the future, stop seeing him immediately. That's not normal. Okay, what's this new term, love bombing or something? I call it the full court press, but it's the same shit. But basically, he's coming on too strong, he's going too fast, and he's trying to pressure you into a relationship. As because you slowed things down, you were able to see who and what he was before you got emotionally involved. So that was good. A lot of women don't do that, and they just go along, get swept up, and then they get their emotions involved, and then the next thing you know, the guy, devastates them or starts using them, taking their money, all kinds of horrible stuff starts happening, and then the relationship is over because he would blow up over some nonsense like this. Any man who he's already going downstairs to pass the trash can, but he don't want to take the trash, he's gonna try to raise his voice and act stupid about it. I would have told him, fuck you, And when you go on the other side of that door, don't come back. Lose my number. And hopefully you would be in your kitchen where your butcher knives are. So should he do like that dude did to me at my house that threatened to cut that motherfucker? I'm thinking, shit, I will gut you. You better get the fuck out. Dude could see I was serious too, because that was much younger then. That was right after my husband had died. I was already emotionally weird, and then trying to call myself dating, but um, them trying to take stuff slow, but then he gonna be trying to come. Who's that on the phone with that fucked up attitude? And I'm like, I'm gonna have to stab this fool. So you got this kind of, these dudes who want to put the mash on you and move too fast. You just get rid of them. That's the easiest thing. You don't try to have a conversation with them about it, negotiate with them about it. You just get rid of them. Question 14, male, 22 to 27, from Norfolk, Virginia. So a buddy of mine introduced me to this girl. She's 19, I'm 24, while he and I were together at a coffee shop. Oh, this one, I read this the other night. Didn't I? No, this isn't. Oh, this is okay. I thought I had read something similar, but it was about some guy meeting somebody, but on the dating show. But I guess this was different. Okay, so a buddy of mine introduced me to this girl. She's 19. I'm 24. While he and I were together at a coffee shop, in Norfolk, Virginia. I've been replying to her funny Instagram stories in her mind, but yesterday I was playing around with her and said something as she is kind of a future wife. She then texted my friend saying that I'm showing interest about her, that how can his ass think we have something, that I look like I have a small eggplant, although we never spoke about that size or eggplant or whether she's a virgin or anything, like roasting me in every sentence in the conversation with my friend. Yet she kept texting me in private and giving me another vibe. Should I just dump her? Oh, absolutely. What kind of two-faced shit is that? And before you dump her, just let her know that your friend told you what she said. Now, there's always a possibility that your friend is lying too. Does your friend like her? Because remember, you're hearing this secondhand. So if you tell her, this is what he said, you prepare for her to say, I don't know what you're talking about. I never said that. Okay, then, have your plan. What you going to do? Because then you know that it was made up by your buddy. Because he most likely wants you out the picture so he can get with girlfriend. So, there's two ways to look at this. I don't know which one is true. Because this is hearsay and rumors. She hasn't said anything to you. This is all what you're hearing from him. So, if you're not comfortable with that, then you can just dump her, because not that you guys have a relationship or anything. Just, stop talking to her. But if you really starting to think that the girl might be something that you want to pursue, then you have to say, hey, I heard that you've been talking about saying something about me having a small dick or something. Well, I mean, what? Why would you say something like that? Sound confused, not accusatory, not angry. Sound confused, like, I'm confused. Why would you say something like that? And see what she says. That's how I play it. Yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking too, Lee. But we don't know which one it is. I mean, she could have really said it, but I don't know. Something's telling me that this is coming from the guy. I don't know. But that's the only way you're gonna find out, dude, is to present it to her and see what she says. That's what I do. Question number 15. This is a young lady in the 28 to 34 age group from Bridgeport, Connecticut. Her male partner is also 28 to 34. So my boyfriend broke up with me today after 7 years together. Well, dang, you guys was like in diapers. Since he is a man child, I know I should be happy, but a part of me is furious. I finally got an apartment. We planned to move out of my parents by the end of this month, but tonight everything came to a head when he randomly told me he's done and we should break up. Some background. My now ex-boyfriend moved in with me and my parents several years ago. He never kept a job for long, maybe a year and a half at the most. I didn't think much of it because he has severe carpal tunnel in both hands, according to his doctor. So I just accepted his excuses and not been able to do a lot of things and picked up the slack. He's been unemployed for years. He has a problem, mostly pain, he claims, in both shoulders and his left arm. Disability turned him down twice. I'm left paying the bills, the rent, and everything else. I'm stressed out and my paychecks can barely support me, let alone both of us. He barely picks up after himself. He has me bring his food to him most of the time, wash his clothes, and everything else imaginable while I'm the only one working and trying to save for us to move. I have no desire to have eggplant with him, and it doesn't help that I have low eggplant drive due to medication that I need to take. I think a lot of it has to do with him being a 20-year-old child. He can't be bothered doing anything for himself. I can't even get him to drive me to my appointments anymore, which are once in a blue moon. He's now claiming he has heart palpitations and his doctor put him on blood pressure pills, which I honestly believe he is freaked out about as I see him constantly checking his pulse. But it's one thing after another, and I just can't do it anymore. I can't even get him to leave the house unless it's after 2 p.m. and he's feeling up to it. He broke up with me today and said he's eggplantily unsatisfied as he tried to force himself on me while drunk. I told him to move out and finally laid into him about how I'm unsatisfied with him too. Why should I be his mother and his girlfriend? He can't have both. I'm not here to wipe his ass, pay the bills, and then please him in bed too. If he can play video games and polish off my alcohol, he can get a job. Despite the resentment I've grown towards him over the years, I still feel hurt and used. He let me know he was feeling well enough to leave. He would have done so ages ago. I have only myself to blame for not listening to my friends and my parents. Any advice from me? Yes, evict him. You're going to have to go through the formal eviction process and get him out of your house and then out of your life. He's a bum. I am so shocked that you put up with this for all this time. What in the world were you doing? And he, you know what? He got all. I was thinking when I was reading about the carpal tunnel. What's he? He's not doesn't have it from typing, from like coding or anything. He has it from playing video games and with poor posture, sitting like this. Instead with his shoulders back, so he's compressing all those nerves and stuff that run through the shoulders and into the spine and into the neck. That's what's going on with him. So, and now he's got high blood pressure. That means his stuff is gonna stop working, and he's only in his early 30s. Nah. Get him out. Oh, he's not even there. He's 28. No, 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 no. Get rid of him. You should have listened to your people. Question number 16, female, 18 to 21 from Chicago. My daughter's father left us because he said he isn't ready to settle down. I'm having such a hard time understanding why he isn't ready to settle down with me. Deb, he's 27 and I'm 20. You're only 20? And we have a 1-year-old child together. And about a few days ago, he admitted he wasn't ready to settle down. What is he searching for? I don't get it. I've asked him, but he doesn't really know either. I don't know. We officially ended things 4 days ago, and I'm having a hard time processing and moving on because I just don't understand. I want to add that I did speak to him, and he apologized a lot and said he wants us to work and be together, but he's not ready for a family. I think after we had our daughter, he felt very overwhelmed and it became too much for him. Do I believe he wanted us to work out in the end? I don't know. But I'm definitely not waiting around for him. Any advice to help me understand what could be going on? Yeah, just like you said. The fantasy of, we going to have a baby is way different than the reality. And he just bucked and ran because he's 27 years old and still stupid. Now, my question to you is why the fuck was you not on your birth control and why you having a baby by some fool? See, this is the part that drives me crazy about you young girls. You have these babies, and then you be looking around, pitching around, and realizing that you had the baby by an idiot. Could you not have recognized that he was an idiot before you got pregnant? Why did you not use birth control? Why would you ruin your life at 20 years old having a baby by a fool you're not even married to and who doesn't even want to be with you? Why did you do that? It drives me crazy. It drives me nuts. There's so many young girls make this ignorant ass decision. Oh, I can keep my baby. Why? Why? Why did you want to keep it? For what purpose would you do that? How did you feel like that was going to benefit your life, his life, or the child's life when y'all is young, stupid, and broke? Please explain that to me. The best thing, I don't know what your situation is with your family and stuff, but see, to me, the best thing that you could do in a situation is get a baby up for adoption. Take your little ass back to school, get your degree, get a career going, do something with your life. Put him in the wind and forget that this chapter of your life ever even happened. That would be the best thing that you could do for yourself and this child. Because this is a hot mess. So you're going to be trying to hold them to adult standards, making child support visitation. He doesn't want anything to do with the kid. It's too much for him. He's overwhelmed. You certainly couldn't think that this is somebody who's going to be responsible and take care of a child when it's in his custody for a quote visitation. This makes no goddamn sense at all. Yet these girls just keep fucking doing it. And a lot of these parents are encourage this shit. Oh, God is gonna make a way. Gotta make a way. We'll take care of it. Shit. I think the baby's 1 year old. This baby could get adopted next week. People want infants. Give the baby up for adoption. Neither one of you are qualified to parent this child. You're too young and dumb, and he's more older, but just as dumb as you are. Two stupid people trying to raise a baby. Give the baby up for adoption. Somebody with some sense, with college degrees, a nice home, money in the bank, and someone who will provide the child with a future, stability, emotional, mental, and financial stuff that you two can't do. Be nice to the baby. Think of the child and give it for adoption. Don't listen to your family. Pack all the stuff up and give the baby away. It's the best shit you could do. And then get yourself on some birth control if you're going to be fucking. Question number 17, female, 18 to 21 from Manchester, England. How do I stop feeling the need to wear makeup in order to look attractive? I'm a 21-year-old woman in university, and I feel surrounded by beautiful women who look like they wear almost no makeup. It's made me realize how tied down to makeup I've become. I wouldn't say I wear a lot on an everyday basis, just pop concealer, makeup, and tight line eyeliner. I don't know what that means. But I've been wearing it every day for years, and I no longer appreciate what I look like without it. I'm not necessarily trying to cut it out of my life entirely, just become more comfortable without it. Any advice on embracing my natural self? The problem with you is that you look at other people and you compare yourself to them. And you compare yourself in a way that makes you come out on the short end of the stick. Why do you do that? That's the answer to this problem. You look in the mirror and you see something ugly. Why? The only answer for that is therapy. I don't know your history. I don't know what lessons you were taught as a child. I don't know what you heard, what you were surrounded by, what people said to you, how your mother was with you, how your father was with you, what kind of things people said, how you were taunted, teased, bullied. All of those things might come into play and have some impact on who you think you are now at 21 and why you think so negatively about yourself. I mean, I know on my worst days, I know I looked rugged. I still thought I was the most flashy, fine thing walking on the planet Earth. Now like I see myself with makeup on and stuff when I do the show, and I don't even recognize myself. I'm like, who is that? Why she got all them colors on her face? Still trying to get used to this. I've been doing the show for a couple of years. This is when I started really wearing makeup, being on YouTube. Because it's just different. Yeah, exactly. They had a no makeup look, the natural colors and the sheer lip gloss and all that kind of stuff. She just don't know. She's thinking they don't have on any makeup, but they have on light makeup, I'm sure. But how do you eat? How is your skin? What kind of water do you drink? I mean, all of those things have to do with you having a natural glow, shiny hair, bright eyes, you get enough sleep. All these kind of things make your skin look better. And really clogging up your pores with all that makeup is going to jack up your skin. It's going to make you age faster. So it's really not doing you any benefit or any service. But that's what might be my suggestion. You're in university, usually have therapists. You can get, students can have therapy sessions for a far reduced rate. And, you try to sign up for a few sessions so that you can figure out, what's going on with you and why you don't like yourself. Why you compare yourself negatively to other people. That's the answer. And once you figure that out, then you can let go of makeup as your crutch for your quote beauty and be quite fine with just showing your bare face. Thanks, Lee. Well, I be trying because y'all be pushing me to do more and be better. Okay, so we got 136 votes on our survey. Good. Look at that. Most of the people look like are saying hell to the nah. The only reason I'm asking this question, I have to tell you, because under the video we did about manly men the other day, some guy posted about women shaming men for wearing makeup. You can go there and you can see the exchange that we had, and he was just really upset because he felt like that it doesn't make men more feminine to wear makeup. What do you say, Keith? I saw Keith there. Keith, do you think that if men wear makeup that they look feminine? I do. I think, okay, can you imagine a man with this kind of makeup on and me thinking he's manly? Where they do that at? I'm looking like you in the mirror more than me. I dated a guy who was a model, right? You know when we broke up, the motherfucker was fine as hell. He used to be in Houston. You know how they have like, you know how newspaper, what you call them, stores put in the newspapers those color spreads when they have sales, right? He modeled for that kind of stuff, those flyers and stuff. Not, and he did a couple of fashion shows and stuff like that. And nice looking brother. But you know what turned me off? One day, because I mean, this was, in the 80s when fashion fair was big. I'm in college in the late 80s. And so it's, I don't know, maybe 1988 or so. And he was going to be in this spread for Walmart. And so I'm looking, he's like, I need to take my makeup with me. I'm like, don't they have makeup artists there? Do you know this nigga reached into my makeup drawer and took my fashion fair? Remember fashion fair? Fashion fair used to be big at that time. This nigga took my fashion fair makeup and took it with him to the modeling show. And I'm like, okay. Little Richard did not look good to me. Little Richard was gay. Now Prince wasn't, but no, thank you. He couldn't have been looking up. I mean, but I said specifically though, Canadian brother, not on stage. Okay, so we got to eliminate entertainers. I'm talking about real men, just regular dudes. And so the survey's there. So cast your vote. Cast your vote. Yeah, I don't want my man looking like Little Richard either. That's a big just now. Mm-mm. But anyway, dude on the post there, he was just all upset because I told him ain't nobody trying to be looking at you looking like that. And so, he was. I said you must be one of them non-binary people. They want to think that woman's supposed to accept you no matter what the fuck you look like. It's like don't nobody want you. A heterosexual woman wants a man, dude that looks like a man, not where there's some confusion there. Like people trying to look at her and look at him and see who's the girl. I don't think so. But exactly, Angelica. That's what I'm saying. That's why I had rules. I never want to mess with a man who wore more jewelry than me, had more earrings than me, had longer eyelashes than me, or longer hair than me. That was an instant no, because then it's gonna be making me too. We competing for who's the most beautiful. Now I have to win this contest hands down. So let's move on. Everybody knows about the survey now. So I just wait and see what everybody votes. Question number 18, female 22 to 27 from Chesapeake, Virginia. Her male partner is 28 to 34 age group. Deb, this is a doozy, but a deadly serious situation I need your analysis on. My boyfriend and I have been dating for about a year and a half, and we have been having problems surrounding his diaper. Wait. Oh, okay. We have been having problems surrounding his diaper wearing since a month after we started dating. Okay, so they've been dating about a year and a half. So that's 18 months. And she found out dude wears diapers a month after. Do you know that would have been the last day we dated if he was dating me? I see what Button wrote. I tell you, these girls just be settling for anything. Just anything. Initially, he told me he only needed them at night because he wasn't able to control his bladder. He has told me that he's seen doctors about this before, but I've never seen any proof of that. He doesn't take any medications. He does wet the bed when he doesn't wear them, so I always assumed he needed them. He had a somewhat traumatic upbringing, so maybe they were a comfort to him. ... That was fine with me, really. Hmm. I understand that some people medically can't control their urination, but then he started wearing the diapers during the daytime and using them while awake. I knew for sure that he was able to control his bladder during the day, so this really bothered me. After even more time, he would wear only the diaper and nothing else around the house. Oh, even worse, he would wear them to bed right before fun time. A grown man in a diaper didn't really make fun time any fun for me. Again, I expressed my distaste. We agreed that if he were to wear the diapers during the day, he would at least wear pants over them. This lasted for a few days, where he was wearing them at all times of day and night in the open again. He explained that he couldn't control his bladder, although I don't believe this is true. If he needed them during the night, that's fine. It wasn't until I tried breaking up with him after 1 year of struggling that within 2 weeks the diapers were gone. He never really needed them that badly. He just needed a push. Unfortunately, I never got over it. I can't seem to find him sexually attractive. Am I a bad person? I tried to make it work, but after a year of diapers, I can't bring myself to. I just need advice about the next step. Thanks in advance. Girl, you know what, sweet melody? People, these men have so many weird fetishes. And do you know there is something I was reading about it on? There's something called baby thing. Okay, they have the furry stuff, right? Where people like to dress like stuffed animals. They call them furries, and they really are into this. They have like conventions and everything. And there's also people who like living like babies. And I was reading a story where this guy went and they have like this giant crib. And I mean, there was a bunch of them, but a couple of women and these men and stuff. And this big old fat greasy man with a beard and everything in a diaper with like a giant pacifier and this chair that looked like a high chair that he used to sit in and eat and stuff. And these people have these weird. Okay, so I'm telling you, this compared to all the stuff I be reading about people having these weird fetishes, this is really nothing. It wouldn't work for me, but I mean, on the grand scheme of weirdness, it's kind of light compared to now. If he was pooping in them, well, see, now that would be, ooh, yeah, that takes stuff to a whole new level. But it sounds like he's just making, urinating in them. So, but she's like trying to figure out if she's a bad person because she don't want to listen. You're supposed to say, look here, Mr. Pissy Pants. Nobody trying to be with you. I want a real man, not one that walks around trying to act like he's two, doing toilet training. Get the fuck out of here. TLC had a show about it. I don't know, but I read everything. I read everything. And so we're gonna be talking about a book that I ordered from some like obscure, dusty old bookstore. We used to have a store here called Wolf Books on East 14th Street, but they closed down some number of years ago. But that place was like a gold mine for out of print books about every topic in the world. I forgot why. Oh, that's right. The owner died or something. His kids didn't want to keep it going. But man, I used to love to go in that store. You just browse around there and find all kind of old books out of print from like the 30s and stuff. It was amazing. And I was always wasting like $50, $60 in that store buying books. But so you read, if you spend the time, there's books about everything, people chronicling biographies, their own, life stories and stuff, and anthologies and stuff of all kinds of weird shit that people do. And so this actually is kind of light. But I don't know. She's good because I couldn't do it. So you want to know what's the next step? Girl, you already took the next step. You broke it off, right? You broke up with him, right? So there's no more steps here. The only step is change your number so that he can't call you and call and reach out to you anymore. And then just move on with your life. And in the future, if you meet a man who has any kind of weird proclivities like that, any kind of weirdness, anything that makes you feel uncomfortable, that stretches your imagination, then this is what you do. You just kind of push him to the side and you say, you're not normal, so I'm not really going to be tripping with you. And then you just let him go, put him back. It's like a fish that you throw back out in the water because it's deformed, defective. It's got like parasites, leeches, tumors, something. You throw them all back. You don't eat them. You don't take them home. Okay? Same principle. Question number 19, female 22 to 27, age group from Peoria, Arizona. Wow, I didn't even know there was a Peoria in Arizona. Dude, I'm telling you, Keith, only on this column, only on this column, only here do I get these kinds of strange letters. Okay. Hey, Deb, Candace, and Shay. Oh, Shay, this person mentioned you too. I need some help. At a work party, a colleague who had been off sick came back to see everyone. I was always very friendly with him because he's lovely, but at this party, he disclosed to me that the reason he was off sick was because he had been feeling suicidal and that this had been going on for a couple of years. I was very understanding and non judgmental as I have suffered with depression in the past, but our conversation was cut short. So he messaged me to thank me where I told him anytime he needed anything to just drop me a message. But he has continued to message me, asking me about my day and things, which I have reciprocated because I try to be as nice as possible. Okay, this is going to be where your ship sinks. However, he had just messaged me asking to go out for coffee to finish the chat. I didn't really want to. I don't think I would feel comfortable, and I'm also very busy at the moment. He is still on sick leave, so I won't see him at work. I hope he also isn't thinking that my niceness was a sign of romantic interest. I have no idea what to say to him, so please help me. Okay, so you guys put your ideas there. What do you think she just should do? See, this is where you made a mistake. I'm gonna just reiterate. So I want you to understand so you never do this again. I told him anytime he needed anything to just drop me a message. That's basically like writing a blank check. You wrote a blank check. And so now he done filled it in and he's asked you to cash it, and now you're trying to back up. You did that yourself. Okay. So he's, asking your day and being nice and all that. So you being nice. So this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna text him back, and you're gonna, since you can do it by text, you don't have to say, I want to make sure that you're not misunderstanding my uh my professional courtesy and kindness as anything of a personal or romantic interest. Okay, you want to have that in writing. So now he's going to respond. He's going to say, no, oh, I never thought that, or something. Or he's going to say, well, I thought, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so if he says no, then say, well, that's really good. I think we should cut our communication short, seeing as how you're on medical leave. I'm not sure that this kind of communication with someone on leave is appropriate. So I'll see you when you get back. Okay. Now, if he says that he thought, no, don't be kind, fuck him. And if he says, well, he thought that you were, that you liked him and you had some kind of interest in him, you say, no, I was just being kind and considerate, of a coworker who was obviously going through something. That's it. That's the extent of my interest. So, you say that if you say that thing, I don't think it's appropriate now. This is, he can either say yes, you're right, or okay, or something where he accepts that and stops texting you, or he could want to argue with you. And I think he's like that persistent kind that's probably going to say, well, why not? Okay, so then that's when you blow his hair back. Because see, my thing is, if you tell a man, no, stop, this is the barrier, this is the boundary, and they ask you anything else after that, which indicates that they don't want to accept your limitations and boundaries, they want a discussion, they want to negotiate, they want to argue with you about it, they want to try to, establish some kind of argument so that they get what they want out of you and you change, reduce your boundaries, reduce the limitations to let them ease in the way that they want to. Well, see, when they start with that shit, I'm telling you, once I say, no, we're not going to do this, and they say anything other than, okay, my gloves come off and the evil bitch comes out. I get on my broom and I take a ride. And that's when you say, look, I already told you, idiot, that I don't want to be bothered with you like that. It's nice that you came to the party and saw everybody and everything, but I'm not trying to be involved with anybody at my job ever, with you or anyone else. I'm not going to do that. I said no, and that's what I meant. So take it or leave it. Now, if you take it, and I might be able to talk to you when you come back to the office, but you keep doing this, you keep trying to press my boundaries and try to get me to do what you want instead of telling you me accepting what I told you, which is no, then we're going to have a problem, and I won't ever speak to you again. Now, which one do you want? I don't play with men like that. Well, he's probably already getting that if he's been off of work and he's been feeling suicidal and he's on some kind of leave for it. You can't just be on the leave and get, disability and stuff like that. The mental health treatment is a part of you getting the disability payments in any country. That's, it's all part and parcel. You have to be getting the therapy while you collect the disability money for being, having a mental health crisis. That either you can do it inpatient, where they're going to have you in there and you don't have a choice about it, or you can do outpatient, but they're going to be collecting the records from your treatment, how many times you went a week, what your schedule is, if you're on medications that you're taking them, this kind of thing. They keep records. So I'm pretty sure he's already getting that, but it's just a matter of, him he's trying to position things where he's going to be burdening this girl with responsibility for his mental health. And I'm telling her that's not what you're going to do. And you're going to tell him no. Question number 20, male in the 22 to 27 age group from Stockton, California. The last 2 nights I've woken up to my girlfriend punching, pushing, and kicking me in the back like we were in the WWF or something. I've been trying to catch up on missed sleep from 2 weeks of overtime. So I have been sleeping deeply and have been difficult to wake up. Apparently, the last few nights I've rolled over and pulled the blankets off of my girlfriend. After struggling to wake me up, she has furiously attacked me in the back with punches, kicks, and pushes. She could have gotten one of the 4 spare blankets we have, but instead she resorted to violence against me because she was upset? Question marks. What do I do? What would I do? I would punch and kick and push her back. Punches, kicks, and pushes. Yeah, that punches, kicks, and pushes. I would do the same thing to her. Fly her ass off the bed onto the floor, and say, "Oh, I didn't know it was you. I just felt somebody attacking me. I just reacted. It was an accident. I don't know what happened." But her ass would be on the floor. She wouldn't be. No, I'm not gonna do that. Just like I don't. Now it wouldn't even be accidentally. I would do it off purpose, but it would be. Oh, really? Did I do that? Remember that little kid? What was his name? Did I do that? That guy. This is so inappropriate. The only thing you could do is tell her, look, either you do what I said and you fight fire with fire, which, it's just a matter of pushing her off the bed and stuff. You don't want to punch her because, then it becomes a whole bag of tricks since you're a man. But you could definitely push her off the bed like you're defending yourself and fly her ass onto the floor. Say, well, shit, I didn't know, I'm getting beat up. I didn't know. I just reacted. Okay, so what you going to say? The other thing you could do is tell her, look, you could have got a blanket and slept in the other room if it was so awful. But I'm going to tell you this. If you do that shit one more time, we're through. Because one thing I'm not going to take is violence. Open your mouth like you got a fucking mouth, brain and you're some kind of mature age instead of attacking somebody like a 2-year-old. This is some bullshit. You don't be saying nothing if I punch your ass back. Okay? Because if I punch you back after you attack me, it's self-defense. So you can't say shit when the police come. Because you started it. That's what I would put her ass on notice. I will beat your ass. Steve Urkel, yeah, that is his name. And he might not really want to do that, but it's a matter of just telling her that you're going to do that because you would be defending yourself from her attack. And let her think on that for a minute. Because all she had to do is get up, like you said, and go in another room. And if it's that horrible, you can't get no sleep, then bitch, move the fuck out. That's the other solution. Yeah. She could get, you know what I mean? Go sleep on the couch or something. It's such a horrible thing for you. Question number 21, female, 22 to 27 from Santa Clara. My friend, let's call her Cheryl for this letter, and I have been friends for about 6 months now. I met her on my job. We started hanging out outside of work, and it's fine. But then I realized a pattern as my roommate, who we both work with, Cheryl. She has begun to excessively, either subtly or straight up, invite herself to things that I haven't invited her to. I have several hobbies that I like to do on my own, or I already have a good group of friends that I go with, and she's asking me almost every day when am I going to do said things so she can go. It's always, let me know when you go, or I'll go with you for sure, when there was no invite. My roommate and I also randomly have bonfires at our house. Sometimes just him and I feel like having a fire. And she asks, well, when are you having a fire? Or whenever you do, invite me next time. I've also said I'm going to take myself on a date this weekend and go make candles. And she has said, oh, well, let me know when you go. I can totally go with you. No, 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 that's not what I said. I enjoy doing things on my own, I think, more than the average person, but I also do enjoy being social. I'm not trying to be a gatekeeper of my hobbies or not open to inviting people to anything. But to me, it seems weird that she's inviting herself to things quite literally every time we talk to each other. Every week she's asking, "What are you doing this weekend?" "Oh, I don't know yet." Well, if you do end up going and doing anything, let me know. If I do have something actually planned, I can tell she's sitting there waiting for an invite, or she will somehow weave in inviting herself. How do I go about handling this in a nice way? I don't know if Cheryl knows she does this or what. Of course she does. What, you think she's stupid? I can't be a total savage since we do work together. Do you have any more tame suggestions? Yeah, you know they white, because bonfires. But that's okay. So you guys have any ideas for her on how she can, what she could just say to quote Cheryl about trying to invite herself to places. Now, I know you say you can't be a savage, and I, knowing me, would definitely be one. So, but since you have to work together, that is a somewhat mitigating situation. So, what you might want to do is say, Cheryl, I don't know if you've noticed this since you seem to be doubt that she does, but it's like, are you aware of, like, every time I talk about doing something, you invite yourself? Just stop there and stare at her and say, and let her see what she says. And she's gonna say, well, yes, because I want to go with you, or yes, this. Gerald, we work together, and I mean, it's great and stuff. You're, cool, and I don't mind going to places with you sometimes. But it bothers me that every time I try to go and do something with my friends, my family, or my roommate, you want to join in. It's like, it's very pushy, and it's not really appropriate. We're co-workers and we can do certain things sometimes, but not all the time. I don't even do everything with my best friends all the time, with my own sister or whatever all the time. And so I don't want to do everything with you either all the time. If I want you to come, if it's okay, then I will invite you. But other than that, please don't ask me to say that you're going to go with me and all this kind of stuff. It puts pressure on me that I just don't really want to feel. That would be me. Because I'm like, I want you to understand. You getting on my motherfucking nerves, and I don't want to be bothered with you like that. So what I just said, that would be the kindest that I could come up with. I don't know. So they may have some suggestions, that are nicer, but me, I have to just give it to you straight. I can do it without, the profanity, since we do work together. But I would just have to let her know, I'm not feeling this clingy, want to be with me all up under me all the time kind of thing. I didn't even do shit with my own husband all the time. I want him to do something with yourself, by yourself. Go somewhere with your friends. Get out of my face. Yeah, yeah, but introduce her to someone. I wouldn't want to do that responsibility anyway. Let me tell you why. Because then she would start clinging to that person, and that person would be looking at me all kind of sideways, like, why you introduced me to that fucking Klingon, that Velcro girl? you just want to get her off of you onto me. So that could get kind of iffy. I don't know if I would go that route either. I would just let her leave it to her own devices. She know how to sign up for some dating website or something. Exactly. Bonabella had it right there. See, she just said it, like, this is the same kind of person who doesn't know when to leave. Exactly that same kind of mentality. They just want to stay and stay and stay and stay till you got to throw them out, and then they get the nerve to be acting all feelings hurt. Let's move on. We still got a bunch of more questions. This is like the longest column ever. 28 questions today, and I'm on question number 22. Female, 22 to 27, from Rochester, Minnesota. What can I do about my boyfriend who apparently doesn't support my dream of going for my perfect job? My boyfriend and I are both 25 and have been together for 6 years. When I first met him, I was a chef, but fell in love with the idea of becoming a paramedic. I went to school to get all the required credits and applied and got accepted. He convinced me to take another course since it was, quote, hard to get a job as a paramedic, end quote. I took the other course, but I was miserable and I dropped out. I applied to paramedic school again and got accepted, but he had convinced me to take nursing. Cue me hating it and dropping out again. This summer, I got a promotion at my restaurant job to restaurant supervisor. A few days ago, I met up with my college friends and they wondered why I didn't take the paramedic training and basically told me it was a shame I didn't follow my dream. Yesterday, I reapplied and told him this was something I haven't stopped thinking about, and the thought of going made me extremely happy. He told me he wouldn't support my decision to go and I should stick with the restaurant job. We had a big argument where I told him I needed time to think. Any advice to go forward? Okay, you done already stopped what you was trying to do twice to let this man dictate your life and control your dream. What the fuck are you doing? You a grown woman. You supposed to tell him no. You want to go to whatever nursing school and all this kind of stuff. You do it. That's not what I want to do. I want to do this. So either you can support me or you can get the fuck out of my way. But either way, I'm going. And it doesn't matter what you say. I don't care what you say because you ain't paying for it. You won't be studying and nothing about it has to do with you. And if that's too much for you, you can't really understand. You don't want to be bothered with it. Get the fuck out. Now, you, young lady, need to understand this is your life, yours. You was born by yourself and you're going to die by yourself. Just you. You weren't born a twin, right? A triplet or anything. So that means it was just a solo situation. That's just you. And nothing about what he's talking about. You listen to him too much. You give him too much power over your life. I don't understand why you even did that. Especially you did it one time. That should have been definitely the end of it. If you even did it then, I wouldn't have done it then. But you did it once and you were miserable. You quit. Then you let him talk you into something else. You were miserable and you quit. Follow your dream this time. Okay? And just because you got a restaurant supervisor, that ain't shit. That's not what you want to do. You want to save lives. You want to have an impact over people. You don't want to serve them pork chops and gravy. You could tell them in that way too. Serving meatloaf and fried chicken and jello is not my idea of a career path. All right. I want to do something where I make a difference in people's lives. Serving, slinging spaghetti and kitty plates and chicken tots and shit is not my idea of that. Now, that's what you do. And you just have to become kind of a savage about it to protect yourself and your dreams. Otherwise, you know what? You're going to be one of them old ladies that's, always pitching around in her life, doing everything that some man wanted her to do. And you've lost yourself in the meantime. And you're going to look in the mirror and not like the person that you see back and feel empty inside. Like you've just wasted your entire life. Don't do that to yourself. You're still young enough to go after your dreams. Do it. Do it today. Question number 23. Female in the 22 to 27 age group from Norman, Oklahoma. Says her mate is 22 to 27, same age group. She says, Deb, with a whole bunch of B's. I need help for real, for real. I have been speaking to a guy for a few weeks, and he mentioned that he is into, the butt thing. Doing the butt, sexy, sexy. Remember that group? Ain't nothing wrong. Anyway, I can't remember the name of the group, but yeah, that song used to be really big. Okay, well, anyway, he's into doing the butt, which I am not. I said that to him, and he said it's fine, but considering how much he mentioned doing the butt to me prior, not him asking me to do it, but bringing it up, and even his friends had joked about how much he is obsessed with it. I don't know whether he will be fully happy with me, considering we are both looking for long term, and he may want it again at some point. I asked him straight up, will you be fine without it? And he said, yeah. And I believe he believes his words, but considering I've dealt with this in the past and even witnessed a friend in this situation where the guy has said they ain't into something and everything's fine for a few months or even years, but then they get asked or hinted again and again. What do you think I should do? Can you and the squad give me advice? Yes. You've been speaking to a guy for a few weeks and he's already mentioned that he wants to destroy your body. He wants to do something that you're not into. That means that you would be violating your boundaries, your boundaries in order to please a man that you've only known for a few weeks. I'm going to tell you this. I have a video on this channel that's full of medical information about how that particular act damages the human body. whether male or female. It's not something that anyone should do, but it's especially, awful for women because of that thin little layer of skin between that part of the body and the vaginal canal. It's not real. You don't want to do that. That's not what that's for. You're gonna mess yourself up. You're gonna require surgery to fix it. So knowing all of that, and he's into that freak shit there, you know what you're supposed to do. At least he told you before he like tried to force it on you or anything like that. He told you. So this is what you do. You say, I'm thankful that you told me that this is what you into, and I'm gonna like bow out from this situation because I have no interest in that whatsoever. That's not my idea of an intimate good time with the man that I'm, dealing with. I don't want to participate in anything like that, and I wish you the best. And then you block his number. You block him. And you make sure you don't talk to him anymore. And you don't ever deal with a man who wants to do something in a physical way that you find distasteful or that violates your personal boundaries for decency and respect of your body. This is mandatory. Too many young girls have this mindset where they feel like they are there as a vehicle to please and service some man. And I'm telling you, your body, I'm going to tell you what my grandmother always told us. As a woman, your body is like your temple, and it's the only one you're going to get. Everything that you have is uniquely you and yours. Take care of it. If you take care of it, it'll last you and serve you well on into your 80s, 90s, sometimes even longer than that. But when you start doing things to put it at risk, to sacrifice your health and the sanctity of your body for anyone else for any reason, you will suffer huge consequences, and so will your body. Many women have all kind of female problems. They have all kind of infections. They end up with all kind of stress-related diseases, trying to worry about keeping a man. Their self-esteem plummets because they're doing things that go against their morals and values just to please a man. I mean, it's a real slippery slope into hell. So stop right now while you're ahead. Just you don't owe this man nothing. You ain't involved with him. You don't love him. You're not married to him. You're not engaged to him. You don't have no kids on him. He's just a non-motherfucking factor in your life. Tell him to take his freak show on somewhere else, and that it was nice knowing you. And like I said, be sure you block his number so he can't call you anymore. Question number 24, female, 28 to 34 age group, from Columbia, South Carolina, male partner, same age group. I don't know. She didn't say. She didn't say that he's what he is. So you know as much about it as I do. What she wrote in the letter is what she put. My boyfriend of almost 5 years is refusing to see my family for Christmas and likely any other get-together they will ever have. Previously, we had split holidays between his family and mine, attempting to be fair, but in 2020 decided unofficially, we never really had a conversation laying out ground rules, to visit our family separate in the interest of trying to limit exposure. My parents are pushing 70. My dad has several health conditions that make COVID extra risky for him. My mother is a retired healthcare worker and has always taken infection prevention very seriously. And I currently work in a rural hospital. I'm on the administrative side, but have been supporting shifts on the COVID unit because the hospital is understaffed and overwhelmed with cases. My sister's kids are also under 4, and my parents watch them for her. And her husband also has a pre-existing condition that puts him at high risk. All of my family members got the vaccine as soon as it was available. I had COVID and a lot of concerning complications and got vaccinated as soon as I recovered. I figured my boyfriend would have no aversion to getting the vaccine, as he's generally a super nice and thoughtful person, especially to his family. I should mention he's from a different culture than me that has historically earned distrust in the medical community. He also works with a lot of very conservative people, and we live in a very conservative area of the state. I've been helping my sister and my parents a little more than usual over the last year on weekends, as my sister and husband started their own business, and my parents have been providing full-time childcare and didn't invite my boyfriend to come along with me and said, it's okay, we'll just wait until you get your shot, thinking it was something on his list that he just hadn't got around to. That was the longest fucking sentence in the fucking free world. Girl, use some periods and commas sometime. On Thanksgiving, everything came to a head when I told him my parents had asked if we wanted to do the holiday with his family instead, and he insisted it was because my family didn't want him around. Upon hearing this, my family invited us, saying we could eat outside, which he again took as a slight, going so far as to tell his work colleague that we were banning him from our celebration for not being vaccinated and disinviting me to his own family's Thanksgiving. While he allowed me to go, allowed you to go, he is saying he will not come to Christmas either, even though we draw names for presents, and this year he had my name. He has also said he will not be getting the vaccine, although he refused to say exactly why. Everyone is really upset, and I want to be respectful of my family's health while not making him feel excluded. How do I navigate that? There's nothing to think about. You're not married. It's your fucking boyfriend. You said your parents have all these issues. Your brother, the husband, you got little kids in your family and stuff. You don't worry about that monkey. You let him do whatever. You know what? Really, he's so fucking inconsiderate. You know what? I would just break up with him. That's just me. Looking at the way that he's acting, like he don't give a fuck about the issues that you presented are very real. You have people who are at the top end of the risk factor here. So he really does not need to be around them ever. So, I mean, the fact that he doesn't want to go is actually a good thing. I'm not mad at him for that. He needs to stay away. But his attitude about it is what I'm talking about. He's not concerned about your aging parents with health, your aging dad with health problems. He's not concerned about the risk to those little kids that he would pose for them. He's not concerned about anybody but himself. So, see, looking at that and the issues here, the dynamic of your family and their high risk situation, health conditions, and how his attitude is all about him and his little feelings, I personally would break up with him. It's like, well, you take your COVID carrying ass on over there somewhere, because you might only have another couple of years with your parents. You better enjoy them. You better do everything you can to have fun with them while they're still here. No need for them to be upset. They're too old to be getting upset. Tell them not to worry about it, that he's going to go to his family's house and you're going to go to yours, and then you just do that. But I'm telling you, he would have tore his drawers with me. We would be breaking up. Yeah, I couldn't do this. So just the lack of concern for my elderly parents, that I couldn't be bothered with him. Question number 25. This is a young man in the 28 to 34 age group from the UK. This will be a slightly long letter. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on a second. I have to know how long it's slightly long because I will skim this shit. Okay, I want to get all the details so you really understand what the problem is. Okay, so a few months ago, he had a one night stand. They went to school together. He knew her for a long time since they were kids, but they weren't close. Out of the blue, she messaged him, agreed that they hang out and go for a walk. He thought it might be a booty call, but he wasn't sure. He went over and she was all over me from the second she answered the door. And we had eggplant. Okay, so this is out of the blue a few months ago, and you haven't really talked to her for years. Wow. I could tell she'd had a couple of drinks, but as the evening progressed, her behavior got even stranger. When I got dressed to leave, she got really annoyed and sat in the middle of the floor and not wanting to leave her there. I agreed to stay and watch some TV. She kept trying to make me drink wine with her, but it was quite adamant I was going to drive home at some point. I'm an anxious person, so I was coming up with a worst case scenario for what might do or say if I refused. So I agreed to stay the night before leaving in the morning. She messaged me the next day to apologize for acting so strange and asked if we could see each other again soon. I said we could, but it would only be as friends. She said okay, and then she'd give me some space. And then she kept trying to ask me out for drinks, and after that, trying to ask me out on dates. She would message me at odd times, like 2 a.m., leave voice messages, and even ring me at similar times and hang up before I could answer. Like caller ID wouldn't let him know who it was her. Even later, after I told her I was seeing someone and I didn't want to give her the wrong impression, she was still trying to get me to go have a drink with her. She asked me to her place again, and I told her that would be too awkward and inappropriate. Okay, at this point, I changed my WhatsApp settings so that she couldn't tell if I was reading her messages, and I just stopped replying. I was still getting odd messages from her, including one where she accused me of scamming her, which was just bizarre, so I decided to block her. Every few weeks, I unblock her to see if she's still messaging me, and she is. Just random, how are you, etc., but she's talking to nobody, and this has been going on for months. this whole thing has made me extremely anxious, and I'm scared of what to say to her because I'm not sure how mentally stable she is. On the other hand, I feel like if the genders were reversed, then this kind of behavior would be deemed as some sort of stalking, and it wouldn't be crazy to get the police involved. I don't hate her or hold any major grudge, but I do need her to stop. If I could go back in time, I'd have just stayed home that night. What? Yes, see, that's what happens when you let your dick make decisions for you, you idiot. What should I do? She just won't stop messaging me, even though I've told her I'm not interested. How do I get her to stop? And even if I block her online, what if I bump into her in the real world? You're just a fucking worry wart. See, this is the thing about it. If you a dude that don't have enough G, you don't do this kind of stuff. You got to have some G about you so that when a bitch starts getting out of pocket, you shut that shit down. She would be too scared to call you again if it was me. And I'm a woman. Let me tell you, if I was a dude, I'd be like, bitch, stop fucking calling me. Desperate hoe. You got the dick, and we was only getting it one time because you crazy as a Betsy bug. I'm never fucking with you. Dude, bitch, you call my house again, I'm going to be over there, I'm going to beat your ass. Okay, now, you talk to her like that, she'll be like, oh my God, let me not call this motherfucker. But on the other hand, this is what you could do. Change your number. Have you heard of that? Wow, what a concept. You never heard of that? You never heard of changing your number? Why is it people don't want to change their phone numbers? Block only does so much because then people can, still, um, make a new account or whatever. And so many people just approve friend requests just blindly. I don't know why you do that on a private page. I don't even for mine is like for the site and for my websites and stuff. And even I sometimes turn people down because I'm like they look weird. Something about them just gives me the willies, and so I just say no, decline. But you're a private person. You don't have to approve anything if you don't know the person. Anybody sending you a friend request, just decline it. So in this situation here, just change your number, sir, and then she'll get the message. She won't be able to call you anymore. Problem solved. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm telling you, if I was a dude, I would have people scared of me. Yeah, but she'll still call it. The only way he's gonna get away from that is if he changes his number. Then she can call and she'll get that this number is no longer in service. But Verizon, I don't know if they still have it because I've been away from Verizon for a long time now. But they used to have this thing where you could put this what they call a rejection message on your thing. The party you are trying to reach does not wish to speak to you. That shit was so bomb. And you could just put that rejection message on and people just would get all molded when they called you. All right, question number 26. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group from Plymouth, Devon in the UK. Her male partner is in the same age group. I am very confused about this situation, and it would be nice to get some insight. Oh my God, why do these people write like they want to tell their whole fucking life story? I'm getting a wisdom tooth pulled next year, and my dentist said that I need someone to get me home after the operation. I'm currently living in the city away from my family and boyfriend, and I thought getting a friend of mine to watch over me for the rest of the day. I was thinking of just asking her to drive me home and then resting in bed or watching a movie, since I do not think I'll need to be looked after for a whole day, but I'm not sure how I'll be like after the operation. Anyway, when I told my boyfriend, he said that he would come to look after me, which was sweet, but not actually necessary. I told him so, but he insisted and said something along the lines of he had to do it because it's his duty as a boyfriend. He would have to drive about 2 hours to get to my city, and then he'd be leaving again the next day. Since he insisted so much, I agreed, because who wouldn't like to be looked after by their SO, right? Cue to today. He had been cold towards me the whole day yesterday, where I asked him what was wrong. He proceeded to tell me that he was very annoyed at the date where I get my wisdom tooth pulled out, and said I could just get it done in his hometown when I go visit him, which would be 2 or 3 months after my original scheduled date. He is also annoyed that I put him in a complicated situation and that I'm, quote, forcing him to either come care for me or stand there like an asshole, which, by the way, was never my intention. I never asked him to do anything. I didn't think of him when I got the date or get the tooth removed, and I didn't expect him to drive all the way to my city to take care of me either. He currently is quite worked up about it, and I'm not sure if I did something wrong. So my question is, am I missing something, and how do I handle this? Any input is appreciated. This is you pick up the phone and you say, you know what, fuck you, motherfucker. Don't come here. I don't want to see you. I'm going to get my shit handled and taken care of with somebody who's not going to be bitching about doing me a favor and helping me like you are. Fuck you. And you know what? This relationship is over. Don't ever call me again. Don't worry about coming to see me. And you won't have the bother of having to do anything for me because this fucking shit is over. Now, that's what you do. He offered because he felt like if he didn't, that everybody would talk about him. But now he's all put out because he's gonna have to be doing this driving and stuff. This is how you know that you just booty to him. You just convenience. Because a man who really cared would take the next day off from work. My girlfriend's having oral surgery. I need to be there to watch her. Because you get blood clots from them things. I stayed with my parents. When I got all four of mine taken out at the same time. I stayed with my parents' house for 3 days. Because my mother, who was a former RN, was like, "Oh no, you're not gonna be by yourself." And because the blood clots you make, it could try. Bad things could happen. It's oral surgery. It's surgery. You be out like sleep while they be digging in your mouth. So it's serious business. Don't take this as lightly as you seem to be doing. And you really shouldn't be by yourself after either. So you want to have a friend stay with you or whatever you're gonna do, but don't be by yourself. It's not a good idea. All right. Bad things happen. Sometimes people just think it's some little nothing, and you can get some really serious complications from that. So you need somebody who's going to be there with you, so that if something happens and you start having some kind of crisis of the bleeding or whatever, then they can call 911 for you. You don't do this and be by yourself. I would never recommend that. Like I said, I felt pretty okay, but my mother insisted I stay there for 3 days until all the bleeding stopped. I was going through gauze like it was nobody's business. I was kind of scared, to tell you the truth, because it just wouldn't stop bleeding. And but I got all four of mine taken out at the same time. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that, but that's what I did. But this is very serious business, and his attitude about it is very disturbing to me. This is someone who's supposed to love you and be concerned about you, and he's more concerned about the inconvenience that it's inconveniencing him. So you, young lady, I know you're young, and you young people don't really look at the big picture like older people do. But I'm telling you what's going on right now. This is a man who don't give a shit about you, and you need to rethink this, what you call a relationship. And personally, I would say get rid of him. Question number 27. This is our next to last question. Before we do that, let me tell you, anyone who's been watching this and you want to submit a question. So you want to get your question onto a future show. You send your question in by clicking the link in the show description down below. There's a link that says click this to get advice or submit your question, something like that. You click it and it'll take you to our advice submission form. Likewise, up in the upper corner up here, there's like a little green icon. And if you hover over it, it'll say get advice. Click that, it'll take you to the same form. So you can click down below in the show description, or you can click up above in the channel. Either way, it'll get you where you need to be to submit your question for a future show. All right. Just to let you know, this is what you're looking at. What the Fuck Tuesday. If you don't mind, be sure to hit the like and the subscription button before you leave today. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. We would definitely appreciate that. So let's move on to our next to last question of the evening. This is the most questions I've ever done in one show. Female, 22 to 27, from Telford, England. I've watched you off and on for more than 5 years, but this is my first time writing in for advice. I am looking for ideas on what to do about a man in a professional work setting who consistently misgendering a femme cis woman, me. Ugh, I hate that cis term. I have a middle-aged male client who from day one consistently addresses me as sir. In every email, I have had video calls with this man, have a very common female name and a female sounding voice. After I started including my pronouns in all of my correspondence with him, he referred to me as he in a conference call with other clients. I work in a male-dominated industry in a traditionally male role, and I feel like this weird behavior is his way of saying to me, a man should have your job. Oh, I have something for his ass. My female boss thinks that my client is just referring to me as male out of habit and confusion, and I am being overly sensitive. I'm struggling to work with this client without getting angry, but my boss is uncomfortable with me confronting him directly about this, and also very hesitant to transfer him to one of my coworkers. My boss is afraid if I confront the client, he will complain to the director and make her and our department look bad. She doesn't want to transfer him to one of my coworkers because she thinks I'm being overly sensitive, and it would be annoying for a coworker to take over midway. Deb, what do you think I should do or say to, as you say, quote, shut him down? Oh, okay. This is what I would be doing. Every time he called me, I would call him she. That's easy. Well, yes, I heard what she said, but blah blah blah. Well, I'll be sure to follow up with her at the end of this meeting because we want to make sure that she has all the tools that she needs to get this job done and make an informed decision about the future of this contract. Yes, ma'am. I'll be sure to get that right to you. No problem. As soon as the meeting's over, I'd fuck with him. Does he want to call you her? So you know what I mean? He becomes she, her, ma'am, beautiful, darling, all the shit that men always call girls, women, right? Babe, sweetie. Start addressing him by all of those colloquial terms that men call women. Fight fire with fire. I'm telling you, I'm a master at that shit. I'm a mirror you. I'm gonna mirror you. And in the situations, what your boss gonna say? Because she thought it was fine for him to do the shit to you, so she bitch better not say shit. You see what I'm saying? Now, nah, bitch, you don't get to complain about what I say to him when you didn't have nothing to say when he was doing the same thing to me. I'm merely doing back to him what he did to me. It was okay for him, then it's gonna be okay this way too. Don't you say shit to me. I'm handling it. You say you don't want him to go to somebody else and you want me to feel like I'm being too sensitive. Well, this is how I'm gonna not be sensitive. Now let's see who's sensitive. It's like, yeah, hi, look at you. You're so beautiful today. Such a pretty little thing, you. I'd fuck with him to tell my you're absolutely gorgeous. Did anyone ever tell you how gorgeous you are? Your hair is just so beautiful. What do we have left of it? So anyway, girlfriend, I don't know your personality. I don't know but I'm telling you, asked for how to do it, and that's what I would do. And that would fuck him up. Watch him start calling you the right name after that. Because he's going to be so fucking flabbergasted. And it's like, it takes a certain kind of courage as a woman to be able to battle men on their battlefield the way that they try to fuck with you. You have to have the courage and the I don't give a fuck what you think kind of attitude to fight fire with fire. As long as you are a woman who's being timid and fearful and concerned about what people think about you and being nice and all this whole waste of time shit that women worry about, you're going to be stuck in situations like this where people take advantage of you. He's taking advantage and your boss is taking advantage and you're not doing anything. At least you had enough sense to write to me though. But I'm telling you, I'm not evil ass. As soon as he did that, I said, asked him, why are you calling me these male terms? And then he would have gave his answer and said, well, I didn't know it was a mistake. But every time he kept doing it, he would have become she, her, it, beautiful, pretty, all that kind of stuff. He would have become all them damn things. So let's see what happens. Write me back and let me know how that works out for you. Because I'm terribly anxious to see what kind of heads is going to roll once you start that routine. And I bet you that motherfucker will pull up real quick because he'll see that you ain't the one. And so will your boss. It's like it does. I mean, when you have courage and you speak up, people leave you the fuck alone because they don't want none of that smoke. They see other people getting a little smoked up and they be like, oh shit, wait a minute. That looked like that guy hurt somebody's feelings. I don't want none of that. So you have to, get folks trained. It's like, oh, hell to the no. You're not going to do that shit to me. You got me confused with a bitch who's going to sit down and take that shit. That ain't me. Question number 28, our final question of the day. Be sure to hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit the like and the subscribe because we got February coming up. I'll go into all that in a minute after we do this last question. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group from Pembroke Pines, Florida. My sister is only 16, but she is very self-centered. And although she's really friendly and easygoing, she's also egotistic as hell. Sometimes I think she is a narcissist. The problem is that every time my boyfriend comes over, she won't stop rambling about herself and her life like everyone cares so much about the movie that she lives in. It really drives me mad because I feel like she's taking my boyfriend's attention and tries to make an impression all the time. I just want her to calm down and be chill for a while. What can I do or say? You tell your milk toast ass, weak ass, punk ass bitch boyfriend to say something to her. That's what it needs to come from him, because she's trying to compete with you for his attention. So the only way that something's going to happen is for him to say to her something like, okay, let me tell you if I was the boyfriend. Okay, the first time or two, you be polite because it's the little kid. You just met the little kid. Y'all is older, and so she's the little kid. Okay. Okay, by the third time, you say, okay, just say her name is Angie. So, Angie, it's time for you to go in your room and stuff. I came here to see your sister, not you. I said hi to you, but it's time for you to go in your room because now you being here interrupting our conversation is rude. So, and I don't really have anything to say to you. You're a 16-year-old kid. I'm dating your sister. I want to talk to her. Vamonos. And then she would get up and leave, right? Probably crying and being dramatic and making a big scene. And as a man, I wouldn't give a fuck because she needs to have boundaries. And it sounds like nobody's putting any in place. Y'all just letting her do what the fuck she want to do. And so she's thinking that it's okay. And your boyfriend is weak. He's weak as hell. You speak up to him and tell him, look, nigga, white boy, whatever the fuck he is, the next time she comes in here, you need to send her away. You tell her, it was nice to catch up with you, but now it's time for you to go in your room so we can have our private time visiting each other. I didn't come here to see you. I came to see your sister. Once he says something like that, she'll know she'll be shut down and she won't do it anymore. But as long as he keeps paying attention to her, she's going to keep doing it because she's getting a benefit, she's getting a reward. The person who holds the key to this is not you, it's him. And he just being a little Mitch. Right? There's other thing that you have to consider is that he enjoys getting the attention of the 16-year-old. In which case you really have a problem. But he's most likely just trying to be polite and doesn't really know what to do because he's weak. I'm telling you, just like these men don't have no testosterone, they don't have no sense of, boundaries and manliness. I mean, as a man, as an adult male, you should put boundaries in place so that no minor child is in your goddamn face all the time. That should be, whether it's your girl sister or not, she's a kid. What does she need to be up in your face all the time for? Man, get this little girl out of your face, into her room, over there with her parents some damn where, with her friends some damn where, somewhere away from you. And if more men had that attitude, this kind of shit, even whether it was intentional, accident, whether she had a crush or whatever, it wouldn't morph into anything problematic because the dude would shut the shit down. It would also save relationships because the sister would know that he was focusing on her and not, some kind of split attention between herself, but she feels she has to compete with her sister. I mean, every single problem in this situation is so this boy, the dude, it's his fault. He's responsible for it happening and continuing to happen because he's not taking any action as a man should. So that's my response to that. So you get your foot in his ass and make him speak up. And then if he doesn't do it, then break up with him. End it. Because you got somebody who's weak. And it's one thing as a woman, you don't have a guy who's going to know how to put boundaries between himself and other women, whether the other woman is your sister, your mother, his sister, or his mother, aunt, friend, and female friend. Nothing. It doesn't matter. There has to be boundaries between to protect you and the relationship that the two of you have. If a man doesn't do that, he does not take those steps to do that, then your relationship is always going to have drama and problems because the man doesn't make a firm stand and keep other people away from you. He doesn't do it. And that is the worst, absolute worst kind of relationship where you don't feel like you have anybody protecting you and protecting your relationship. So, dude, I'm telling you, my boyfriend, he would have got cussed out. That's been like, nigga, what? Why don't you send her away? Because you enjoy her being up in your face or some shit? What is this all about? I would not appreciate his behavior at all. So let me show you guys. Okay, so what do we have coming up? Okay, coming up. I guess this is gonna be the next big show coming up. It's gonna be of the Christmas Eve. The Christmas Eve show. live stream with the advice show, as well as uh, taking advice questions. Okay. So I'm going to ask you guys, if you think you want to get a question answered, don't wait till the last freaking minute. Come in and do it right away. You can either make your $8 payment by Cash App, or you can use the super chat that's on YouTube. Either way works fine with me. And then coming up in February, we have our 5th annual. Can you believe it's going to be the 5th annual one? Video a Day February. I just booked the first guest on what, yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. And he's going to be talking about how to find the love that you want in your life. And it's like he said, very inspirational. This should be a really good talk. So it's already starting off with a bang. I don't know what day that's going to air, but that's what we're going to be talking about, because everything is about winning at life. Every single show is going to be how you can come up, get over, achieve your dreams, and make the magic happen. That's winning at life for our theme for 2022, February. So finally, be sure to hit that like, hit the subscription button, and then share a video. It doesn't have to be this one. It could be any of your favorites, okay? Any video that you like. But anyway, I'm glad you guys were here with me. We got some great letters in. Again, if you want to submit a question submit your advice question by going to the show description down below. Click the link that says get free advice and submit your question. There's a form you fill out. You just submit that, and then we'll look at it. You know, not every question is selected, so don't get upset if yours doesn't get picked. That's just the way it is sometimes. But thanks, you guys, for coming. I will see you all again towards the end of the week. I might have a show this weekend. We'll see what happens. But if not, then I guess I'll see you again next Tuesday for the next What the Fuck Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye-bye.